the millions of fans and viewers all across the Los Angeles metropolitan area. It is a huge undertaking, and I want you to see just a little bit of what makes it happen.
Hi there, my name is Chris Lapp. I'm a senior specialist solutions engineer in the cloud and AI infrastructure group at Cisco. I'm here at Cisco Live 2026 in Las Vegas, and I'm talking to Cliff Ryan, Vice President of Network Engineering at NBC Universal. So, Cliff, how has Cisco's secure networking infrastructure enabled NBC to deliver seamless and secure broadcasts for the Olympics and the Paralympic Games, most recently with Milano Cortina 2026 Games?
Yeah, a great question. You know, NBC and the network infrastructure, we're really integrated across Cisco's ecosystem, from our backbone infrastructure with our segment routing, all the way through to our VXLAN edges at our major campuses, and then most importantly, out to these production remotes. And we really use the Cisco technology just to make sure the workflow itself is really secure end-to-end. You know.
One of those technologies I was wondering if you could touch on is the Cisco's IP fabric for media. I know that you guys are a very large user of IPFM. Can you tell us how you're leveraging IPFM today?
Yeah, I mean, IPFM is the backbone. It is our non-blocking multicast infrastructure, not only at our major production hubs, NBC Sports in Stamford, you know, in Denver for distribution, but also when we do the Olympics, we put a large spine leaf IPFM into shipping containers and ship it out on site so that we can do that, take in as much video uncompressed and compressed as we want and do it right within the IPFM before we continue down the distribution chain.
Amazing, thanks Cliff. Can you share any insights with us from learnings of past games like Paris 2024 and how those are shaping the secure network strategy and collaboration between NBC Universal and Cisco for LA28?
Yeah, for sure. You know, it's an interesting story. Back in 2024, just 2 years ago, you know, not just with the Paris Olympics, but in general, we had about 380 remote events. In 2026, we're already up to 600. And so as part of that growth, one of the things we're redoing is our production edge. We're starting to roll out Cisco's Viptela SD-WAN solution, and we see it as giving us the ability to really provide consistent connectivity with good security throughout all our next-gen production. So that's really one of the big takeaways over the last 4 years is we need to upscale the technology on our remote productions with SD-WAN.
Amazing. What key innovations in AI-driven network solutions that Cisco is driving to support this massive scale and complexity of LA28 broadcast? Which of those are you really, looking to leverage, looking to use in the upcoming games?
Yeah, it's a great question. I have more network engineers at this Cisco Live than I ever have in the past. And for us, it's really about, we see AI as foundational in the sense of NBC, just like I think a lot of the customers here at Cisco Live, we've built this infrastructure as code, DevOps infrastructure over the last couple of years. But for us, it's really about moving beyond that. We have to start leveraging agentic AI to move to what I consider like the next DevOps infrastructure with AI.
Awesome. Now, one thing that we talked about earlier was, traditionally we're doing things like remote broadcasts and things like that. But broadcast is really changing to where now it's not just like a traditional remote broadcast, but it's more of a distributed broadcast. You could have an anchor in 500 different places talking to events across multiple different locations over and over again. How is that really shaping how you're doing production today?
Yeah. Another good question. The running story with NBC Network Engineering is the network is the production hub. To your point, it was, several years ago in Paris, we were transmitting about 200 gig back to our production hub in Stanford. But since that time, that's really changed. Not only is the bandwidth doubled, but where that production happens is just completely distributed, right? We're launching to the cloud. Sometimes when we launch services to the cloud, we still bring it back on-prem to distribute across our network infrastructure. And additionally, where those studios and control rooms at, we don't rely just on a single production hub anymore. We're relying on Universal City on the West Coast, sometimes Telemundo in Miami, and it all happens over our distributed infrastructure.
Awesome. With all this innovation going on, what do you see as the biggest challenges that you're anticipating for LA28 and other high-profile events coming up?
Yeah, I think one thing we've learned over the last couple of years is, network engineering, we've spent a lot of time really integrating with the production teams, like the teams that do that call till strike, like the entire production story. And what we're finding is like the story changes quickly. It can be changing to follow an athlete or to go to another venue. And what we're really trying to do is move that insight up. So the production teams, give them insight via conversational troubleshooting with AI, for example, so that they can have more insight into the state of the network, how changes they want to do might impact the network, and then vice versa, it gives us more insight as they make a change, how we might have to adjust our QoS and other policies more real time. So it's almost the idea of really getting the lag down between a change in what they want to do and the intent on the network and changing it.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, Cliff, I just wanted to thank you for being here with me today at Cisco Live in 2026 in Las Vegas. I'm really looking forward to all the things we're going to do together for the LA 28 games and all the other games in the future, because you and I have been working together for a very long time now.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. It's been a great journey, and more good things to come for sure.
Thanks again.
All right, now thanks so much to Cliff, a fantastic story. And as Cliff just said a moment ago, the story always changes. This is why the network is so vital and why what we're building out here at Cisco allows for that connectivity, that full visibility, and the reliability of the network that allows us to continue each of those stories, whether it's on the athlete, whether it's on the location, the individual, the family, the tragedy and defeat, and the thrill of victory, I think as we used to say, all the way back in the 70s, or if you're as old as I am. We are going to go back out to Purpose Pavilion. Z has found a new story for us out there. Hey, Z.
I sure have, Steve. I am so happy to be here. Out here in the Purpose Pavilion, this is where we showcase our innovations. Our secret sauce is our purpose. And our corporate mission is to power an inclusive future for all. And I'm here with my phenomenal guest, another phenomenal guest, Susanna. We're going to talk to Susanna today about our CDA program. Our country digitization program. Wow, say that several times. It's where we bridge the digital divide. Susanna, tell us a little about what you're showcasing today.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Z. We are showcasing our CDA interactive map. Now, our goal with our CDA program is to close that digital divide. Innovation is moving at the speed of light, and if you don't have access, you are going to fall behind. So our lovely marketing team across the Americas, EMEA, and APJC have written stories about projects. We are currently present in over 57 countries with 1,700 projects. Now, all of these projects are replicable and they stand on their own. Cisco doesn't just come in and drop off technology. We sit there, we train, we create jobs, and all of these projects, no matter how old they are still running. This program has been around for 11 years and we're continuing to create immense impact worldwide. Now this year we decided to highlight one of our more specific projects here on the beautiful West Coast, and that involves our Indigenous partnership with our Native American network, one of our inclusive communities here at Cisco. We work together with the Pala Band of Mission Indians to introduce 500 megabytes of internet to reservations in the Southwest, in the Phoenix area, and over here to California. Now this project is being expanded through the Golden State Network and the California Department of Technology. Again, wow. Closing that digital divide, which is just incredible.
This is incredible, Susanna. I tell you folks, we're doing some great things over here. We're accelerating a future where everyone is connected. Everyone is connected. Susanna talked about tribal communities. I'm excited, Steve. Over to you.
Powered future for all, exactly, Z. Thanks to Susanna as well for bringing us that great story and great actual proof points, specifics on how we reach out to communities all over the world, create not only that stability, but that accessibility, that sense of community, building them up, giving them what they need so that we can thrive everywhere we go. We're going to go back out into the showcase right now. Rob and Michelle are going to have a little conversation around Cisco Data Fabric, powered by Splunk. Rob, I think I'm tossing it over to you, right?
Absolutely, thank you, Steve. And actually, I just want to correct a little thing. Yes, it is still Michelle. But Michelle, this is you here, not as the host we know and love on the show floor here, but the reality is everyone here has day jobs. You work for Cisco, you carry a proverbial bag in your own responsibilities, goals you have to hit. Do you mind explaining what you do for Cisco?
Yes, I'm much more serious now that we're talking about my day job. But essentially, I'm a product marketing manager here at supporting Splunk. And one thing I really want to talk about right now, use this time, is to talk about what G2 announced yesterday, the Cisco Data Fabric powered by Splunk. So what does that look like? I like to break this down in 3 areas. Follow me over here real quick. We have a couple panes. So we have the data pane, context pane, and action pane. But let me start out from the top. The Cisco Data Fabric powered by the Splunk platform is an architecture that unifies, combines, contextualizes, and activates your machine data. We're in an area of serious growth of machine data. We want customers, individuals, organizations to feel empowered to deal with and utilize their machine data. The point of this is so for all teams across networking, security, IT operations, observability, to make sure that they are using the same data to have fueled, contextualized, and empowered decision making. So we're really breaking down those silos. How I want to start with this.
Yeah.
Data, context, and action, there are very key differentiators between each. In the data area, we're about unifying that machine data across wherever it lives. So if you want to bring it in directly into the Splunk platform, we've got tools such as Edge and Ingest Processor to do so. That's for very quick decision making. Like when you're, for observability security, when you're threat hunting, you need that information, that data now. There's also federated search. This is something where we can bring you to your data. So when you need to store things for 5, 6, 7 years, why pay for the indexing all of that data? Keep it where it is. We'll come to you. Federate outside of the Splunk platform, and when the auditor comes knocking 5, 6, 7 years later, you can use that data, bring it in, pull it to make it a lot more contextualized.
30 seconds was all we have left here. You were going to show something here. I don't know if we have time to look at all of it. Cloud control, guys. Told you it was
We're in
everywhere.
cloud control. We go directly into the Splunk platform. Right here, you'll see this home screen. What we're going to do is go right into contextualizing this. Let's get rid of these. Okay, this is a great example of how once the Cisco Data Fabric is appropriately deployed, your teams will get a unique and consolidated one single pane of glass view of all of your context, your data, to make informed decisions. Let's keep going through this. So data management here, this is where you bring everything in right away. Oh, we are going to have to run.
Maybe pull back. Thank you, though, because actually I need this, and so we can continue talking, but we'll send back to you, Steve.
Thank you so much, Rob. And it's too bad because I want Michelle to keep going because she shows her Splunk expertise here. Hopefully we can do more of that in a bit. We're going to go back out to center stage now, where we're going to learn about what takes place from the silo to the full scale, utilizing agentic ops and end-to-end AI networking. We've got Murali Gandluru on deck, our VP of Product Management for Data Center Networking. We have got Will Itherton, our Senior VP of Data Center Internet and Cloud Infrastructure Engineering. Great guests from Cumulus AI and from Scale Cloud Services. Cisco is unifying networking from the fabric to the pod, everything you need for AI and modern workloads. We are breaking down those operational silos, realizing more value from more distributed data and enabling seamless scalability. Let's head out to Murali and Will over at center stage. We'll meet you right back here when it's done. Here we go.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for making the time. I'm really excited to be talking about moving from silos to scale, end-to-end agentic ops and AI networking. With me, I have Will Itherton. You can't hear me? You've got to put it on, sorry. Okay, everybody has to put their headsets on, otherwise you're not going to hear me. Cool, thank you. So, I have with me, I'm really honored to be presenting along with Will Itherton, SVP of Network Engineering at Cisco. And together, over the course of the next 30 minutes, we're going to go talk about our innovations spanning AI, security, and agentic ops. So when we talk to our customers and partners, particularly over the course of the last few months, what we've noticed is that it's not just a buzzword anymore. AI and AI operations, infrastructure that goes underneath that, is actually maturing fast, and we're seeing a lot of early success from outcomes out of those environments. So
So I think the big thing has been a year or two ago, everything was around training. It was very exclusively focused on hyperscalers. What we're really heading into is the inference stage. And so what does that change as far as what inference is going to mean, not only for the infrastructure, but how enterprises can leverage this technology. So with this progress, customers are still asking major questions. How do we scale the AI workloads effectively? Simplicity. How do we secure? That has been a big topic. And so security has been a big topic this week, hasn't it, Raleigh? I think every meeting I've been in, Glasswing has been in some fashions.
Yeah, and the thing is, we actually have a way to put that into infrastructure and provide a way to bring this into our solutions, including on the network.
Bring it in, but then it's also how do you make that simplistic? And so I think that's some key things we wanted to hit here.
And the key thing is to address this first and foremost. Cisco has taken a three-pronged approach, 3 pillars even. The first pillar is around the full stack AI infrastructure engineered as a single system. I mean, it's a complex task, and that requires fundamental first principles thinking. The second pillar is around how you fuse that security, like we were just talking, not just like a bolt-on, but fuse it into every layer of your infrastructure, particularly in the network. As Bill just said, we're going into the inferencing era. The third pillar is around agentic ops, delivered with speed and precision. And so to address all of these, what we have to do is start from the first principles, like I said. And what that means is we are focusing on building scalable, secure, and simple infrastructure that spans across on-prem and cloud environments. We start with our own silicon, systems, software, operating models, and that builds on top of a common business side as well, business element as well.
And one thing, when I've talked with a lot of customers this week that's been coming up, is this balance that we're trying to do between a suggested, opinionated approach to building AI infrastructure, but also providing optionality. And I think the optionality is a key thing that you can see throughout the stack, starting from the bottom with the choices in silicon, going through the system side, the software, the deployment models. So I think that's something we continue to work on, is how to make that balance. But we want to make sure that you have the options while we also provide key validated design reference architectures.
And the other thing that we are seeing, Will, is that the operations IT teams and operations organizations are not getting new resources as they onboard in backend networks and so on. So the front end, storage, management, the multitude of backend environments, they all have to be managed in the same way. And so that's why it was important to drive this architecture as Nexus 1.
Yep.
And so first I wanted to start out with talking about the tenancy. I mean, we know how to do multi-tenancy, but in this unified infrastructure, it is important to securely scale this. How do we do that? And to do that, today, most of these are disconnected systems. And we have VRFs, we have VNIs and all that, but the layer at which the AI infrastructure works, the AI orchestrators, they have the tenant context. But the network operators, particularly in the existing environments of the front end and so on, they manage, provision these separately. So they're disconnected. So no context sharing.
And one thing just on tenancy, because this is a word often thrown around, and more specifically, what are some examples? So in a neo cloud, a tenancy can be as much as first pass tenant would be their end customer. Second pass tenancy could start to get more complex, which we'll come back to in a minute, on things like the job or workload. In an enterprise, they could potentially also have that hierarchy of tenancy. They could have lines of business or business groups, and then similarly jobs. So the first one, more static. The second one, more dynamic. And so I think that's something we're going to be talking about.
Absolutely. And if you layer on environments like the sovereign cloud environments, that's like one more layer, because you have neo clouds supporting sovereign cloud environments and sometimes direct as well. So that kind of example is really pertinent, because when you think about how AI infrastructure orchestration works with Nexus 1, it was important for us to build an automated onboarding of the tenancy. It's also important to do this at scale. Networks are all about scale. And so essentially, we've been working with our partners. Those partners are open source options, proprietary players like Rafe. And essentially what happens is we get the tenant context. And that tenant context is automatically onboarded onto Nexus One. And Nexus One brings in the scale of the network, providing visibility, isolation, and control.
And one thing on this is the notion of tenancy and how you would have Rafe as an example or other options is it's not just a networking construct. It becomes a networking construct and a services construct. So
Yes.
things like security, as well as we'll come back to this, but things like resource isolation, these are all going to be key aspects from tenancy. And that's something we've been learning as we work in the last year with early customers.
Absolutely. So tenant, as I said, tenant segmentation is nothing new. But one of the key things that we've done is we've tried to understand and adapt to also the new requirements that we're seeing, the one that Will just talked about. We are not only able to segment at a VNI, WRF, at an organizational level, you're actually able to go down, microsegment down, all the way up to the job level. So now what you can see is you can drive a very, very granular approach of visibility, isolation, and control. The same three things we talked about at a higher level, now all the way down to the job. So you can have multiple jobs, different requirements across per tenant as well. So that's the thing that we've brought in. So with this, what you see, when you bring all of this together, is that you can secure your infrastructure across the front end, the back end, storage management in a seamless way. And we use the concept that we're all familiar with now, endpoint security groups, right? So these endpoint security groups, you have the metadata that goes across on the network layer, but also you're able to do the tenant and the job context.
So a couple quick things that I love about this feature. First of all, this was something developed in context with customers that we were engaged with. So as we worked with them, and actually InfiniBand has had something similar with a partition ID, and we don't want IB to have, and InfiniBand should not have nice things that we don't have in Ethernet.
Exactly.
Ethernet should have it all. It should be the end. So, so in that context, we came up with a new architecture, and it was a co-design. G2's talked a lot about co-design from silicon all the way up. So this is an area where carrying that job ID in the packets, being able to then architect that from the silicon firmware up all the way through the software to how we would actually then present this at a management level, all the way up to that orchestration level with the tenant to Rob. I mean, that is as co-designed from top to bottom as you can get.
Absolutely. And one of the things that we are increasingly doing is that we're seeing across verticals, not just across neoclouds and sovereign clouds. We have some great customers whom we're going to be talking shortly with, but also with industry verticals. We're seeing quant companies, other sort of regulated environments, public sector, all of those also start to look into these as well. So why did I say that? The reason I said that is because when you think about infrastructure, you actually have the platform ops team as a nice counterpoint typically to the network operations team. 66% of those platform operations teams are Kubernetes based, and probably even more in the AI, if you look at a pure AI environment. So with that context, think about a network operator's life. Today, the platform ops is just a black box. And so this black box means that they just, and that's the way it was supposed to be, because you want to abstract out that whole layer. You don't want to provide the details, too much details, but now we are in a world where context is important, right adjacent to the workload. And so with this, essentially when something breaks, what happens in today's world is the app team says, everything looks fine on my side. The network team says, everything looks fine on my side.
Yep.
And so this is the problem that we are trying to address. And what we've done with that is with our acquisition of Isovalent, which provides us the container network interface, the CNI, that Cilium essentially extends that all the way to that workload adjacent area. You can extend also the technologies that we've built, multi-tenant technologies. EVP and VXLAN is a great example of that here. And so with that, what you get is real-time workload-to-workload communication visibility, the isolation, and control. So we're bringing all of the standards practices that networks are usually known for, which provide the scale to this world.
And one of the things I've been talking with customers this week is that we're continuing to expand the enforcement point. So isovalent at its core. You had the eBPF area of enforcement. You then go, you can have tetragon, virtual switch. We get into smart switch aspects we've talked about. And then something that we've been talking about recently is that we're introducing where in an AI cluster on the Bluefield North-South NICs, you can start to have that be an additional enforcement point. So the key point here is that services should not be about 100 million lines of firewall code that probably, by the way, has a lot of vulnerabilities they're going to be patching for the next 6 to 12 months. Services should be around distributed, fit for purpose enforcement of policy with the minimal amount of software and the best architecture. And that is what we continue to do, is evolve the architecture, and this is a key center point to that.
And when the workload moves, the policies also move to that point. That's why it works at scale. So when we're moving on to the second pillar that we talked about, security, and how we fuse security into every layer. Essentially, when you think about security traditionally, you just mentioned this, it's about you find a vulnerability, you take the time to find a patch, or you build a whole image around it, right? Well, that time is gone. You've seen everything that Jeetu talked about, right, Will?
Yes, so we've gone from a period where we had Log4j, we all ran around, that was a several-month exercise, and now we love to say a Log4j can happen every day. So this is making a number of changes. We are, from a development standpoint, prioritizing this whole process of identifying vulnerabilities, preparing patches. This is something that we're actually going to be releasing software on, moving towards more a quarterly basis moving forward. But we believe that we are in overall a good place with the network software we have. But we are going to be moving quickly to bring you new updates. But we're also looking at new architectures to help in the future, right, Marley?
Yeah, and think about it. With all the things that Will just talked about, there's actually data behind that. 83% of the network engineers now have security in their remit, either as a part of their official role or remit, or unofficially as well. So that's changing a lot. So essentially, we introduced Live Protect, and you've heard about Live Protect probably in Cisco Live a lot. But let me tell you, the tip of the spear of that is the Nexus portfolio, the data center. Nexus 1, we support both the monitor mode and the enforce mode, and that allows us to embed this software capability and providing compensatory controls to mitigate any of these vulnerabilities that show up much, much more rapidly than you would with a typical patch. Now, this does not take the place of
So we're very excited about the architecture improvement. This is more in the steady state. So after we get through some of the, let's say, higher velocity patches in the next 3 and 6 months, then this is like, think more 2027. This is the time frame things calm down more. The idea here is without a reboot, you can apply this as we identify something that would be in a critical high category. You can put that out, and then the next, it's more of a, you have tires, you get a flat tire, you have protection for a while with many of these mechanisms allows you to keep going, but you still need to get that tire changed on a regular basis moving forward.
You're telling me I don't have to go to a Wheelworks immediately?
Yeah, you can wait at least 30 to 60 days.
That's right, okay. But the third pillar is probably the key.
Is the last piece is this, we're going to talk about agentic ops. And we're actually also going to get into some examples here with some demo aspects. So the world's running at AI speed. I certainly in my software team, we're constantly under pressure on how do we best use these tools. I think all of you, this is also a topic of how are the tools actually helping you do your job faster, more efficiently, potentially more fun. And so, but many times what is operation still? It's still running at ticket speed. It's still the workflows maybe haven't changed. And that really is a gap and a problem that we're looking to help address today. And so Jeetu, both in yesterday's keynote and then today he expanded on it with some of the things he went through with Tom and Anurag was Cisco Cloud Control. And so this is something, and I've been very excited to be part of this for the past year. My engineering team has been working on this. I like to say our day job is all of the infrastructure, the switches, all the technology that we talk about quite a bit. The nighttime job has been getting Cisco Cloud Control as a substrate underneath. And so this is something we've been proud to come out with. And its goal, in many regards, this is something Cisco should have had a long time ago. We all recognize that. But this this is the right time to bring it forward because we can now bring it not only as a unifying UI UX. That's fine, that's one thing. More importantly, it becomes a unifying API gateway. It becomes a common user identity. It becomes aspects around the AI canvas that can help us solve problems in an agentic fashion across domains. And that's why this was the right time. And when we identified all these things lining up, we really went all after in the last year working on engineering. So Murali, slides are great, but what can we look at concretely?
Yeah, so what I'm going to do right now is just go through a quick demo. And as you might expect, we start with Cisco Cloud Control. We've heard that a lot. This is actually reality. So once we look at this, the typical dashboard, what you see is the global view of an operator, the mix of environments, as I said, front end, back end, campus environments, all kinds of environments in one place. So essentially, let's look at the Miami data center and the New York data center over there on the right. Now, I am a network operator, so I'm logging in for the day. And what I want to do is I want to see how my Miami data center looks like. And traditionally, I would be able to only see until the spine leaf fabric. And essentially, everything that you see that's highlighted in the white would be a black box to me, like we just discussed. But now, because of our isovalent integrations and the EVPN extension all the way down, you not only can see visibility-wise, you can isolate and also point points of control right there. And all of this is standards-based. Standards-based technologies built into it. So this now, if you think about it, and you apply secure policies, you have the platform team define those policies at the Kubernetes layer. That gets automatically fed into the network side as well, but you get to see it. You get to see it, you get to extend that across all of your infrastructure. I just talked about Miami data center, but I also have the responsibility for New York. So what that means effectively is now I can see the end-to-end view of a flow for a particular application that is going across sites, using not just our scale out in one data center, but also scale across infrastructure as well, and going all the way across and moving away from the old manual way of provisioning and managing infrastructure to an agentic way. So can you tell us a little bit about how the agentic way would be? I was just giving you the network ops view.
Sure. And by the way, while Cisco Cloud Control is much more than a UI UX portal, I do love the look of Cisco Cloud Control. It's really come along very nicely. I'm very happy with that. So Murali, if I was on that was a NetOps team view. So if I'm on the platform team, the application team, and I'm logging in for the day, I see that an app has issues. So AI Canvas will start. And again, AI Canvas is a Cisco agentic base that will pull from the APIs of our varying tools. It will now pull the data from the original ServiceNow ticket. It'll start debugging at the Kubernetes layer, analyzing service performance, DNS, traffic behavior. It'll look at partial HTTP request success rates, TCP retransmit, and basically come to a conclusion, as the app team, I want it to be the network's fault. So I come to the conclusion that it's not an application problem, and I do need the NetOps team involved. So at that point, I say, Murali, let's get together. Let's make this a multiplayer event. And because of the back and forth with email, Slack, we can actually both work in AI Canvas instead of those asynchronous tools.
Absolutely. That is a key thing, the collaboration element. You see the share button there at the top. So now that I'm also in there now looking at this, invited me, and I see that in fact, based on the natural language communication and the backend work, I see that in fact there is a network layer problem. And so I do need to go and find a way to fix it. So now I find that congestion related packet drops have happened. Yep. And basically, I now know what to do and how to solve it.
It'll recommend a new policy, can resolve the issue. And I think this is one of the key feedback we've had is, hey, if I get into agentic ops, what made OpenClaw so popular was not that it could summarize your email or your calendar. What made OpenClaw so popular was it could help you take action. And so here, it's proposing an action. It's still leaving it for human in the loop, but we are getting into that closed loop that has been the end goal for so long in automation. And this is key. Other vendors have those visibility tools, but AI Canvas can take you into a closed loop.
And you can revert it back as well if need be.
Yes.
Right?
And audit trail is also very important. Yes.
So this is really, really a game changer. So thank you, Will. I think this was bringing all of these together and running this at scale and bringing in innovations at all the layers, data plane, control plane,
it was awesome. The only thing that could be better is it should have been the application's fault, not the network. With you, thank you very much,
Will.
Raleigh, and I'll
really appreciate it.
The next folks here.
with that, I'd like to introduce our customers, Dave Riggers from Cirruscale Cloud Services, and Mike Maniscolo from Cumulus AI. Thank you, Dave. Thanks for joining us. Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a seat. So you heard about how we think about designing infrastructure, the innovations around it, but you're actually deploying this in real-world environments. So tell us about your journey, Mike, and then Dave.
Yeah, so we started deploying with Cisco on some of our AI training clusters and inference clusters recently for our customers. And it's driven through a variety of reasons. I think the way we look at the world is we have 4 pillars: flexibility, access, cost, and we also look at speed, because speed is a big part of access. And when it comes to the world of AI today and getting infrastructure deployed at scale the way the customers want, it comes down to, can I get it? How quickly can I get it? At what cost? And then can you deliver it and operate it reliably? And I think one of the things that the Ethernet solutions that Cisco is providing and bringing to the arena that didn't necessarily exist a few years ago was more optionality around what solutions can we bring to market alongside of these clusters to get them to market quickly and reliably and cost effectively, because there weren't a lot of options a few years ago. So it's great to see. Yeah, it was all IB, right? So it's great to see options in the market, because the constraints to getting these systems deployed at the pace and cost that the customers want are real. And a lot of that's driven by supply chain and reliability and having the right partners behind you with the right resources and support and security aspects. So that's where we view Cisco and our ethos and how we're using your solutions to meet our customer needs today.
Awesome. Dave, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, I mean, we've historically sold into research institutions, first movers, well-funded startups. Now that the enterprise is starting to move into AI and into inferencing in particular, they want to live in the same ecosystem that they would normally have on-prem, but they have to get into the cloud in order to distribute the workloads and have the workloads where the people are. And that's where we have been really excited about being able to adopt Cisco tools, especially when it comes to observability, because the customer needs to see what's happening where. So we're really excited about the products that you guys have been launching and announcing here, especially around that ability to control the workload, control the agents, because we now know, we've been talking for a long time about agentic's coming. It's here now. I mean, it is blowing up, because that's the main way that people are able to actually be more productive, is by using these agents. But those agents, we now know, need guardrails around them.
And how are you thinking about those guardrails in your environments? I mean, it is a real problem. Jeetu said you have 450% more communication and traffic going within your neocloud environments now, probably with agents. You also have to protect them from other malicious environments.
Oh yeah, you have to. Agents are going to be they're actually what provides a lot more productivity, but they're what also adds a whole lot more risk. So those guardrails really need to match both the user type as well as the job type. So it's definitely more complex than what we've historically done, because as some folks have noticed, they've had runaway bills because of agents just blowing stuff up. But one of the most important features that one of our customers was talking to us about just last week, they said, I want control, is what they were saying. It's not that I want to stop the spending. I want to control the spending. I want
measured
my power users. Biggest thing is they don't want to limit their power users.
Makes
you know, it's the knowledge workers that they're more worried about. Their power users, they want to make sure they have as much as they can consume, because in several one of G2's talked about your own internal software developers. There's 4 times as much production now because of agentic workflows. So, and we're seeing the same thing from our customers, where they really want to make sure that their power users get as much as they can eat.
Is that what you're seeing as well?
I'm looking at it from
a similar customer base.
I think we have a slightly different customer
base. That might be a good
but when I look at the agentic capabilities, I look at it from 2 different perspectives. How are we consuming it internally, very much like you described, to deliver our systems more reliably, to bring their systems online faster, to turn over support issues and and identify root causes faster. Like, how are we leaning into that agentic automation capability that exists in the world today, given where the tools are at? So we're leaning in really heavily on our engineering team for that side of things. On the other side of things, if I look back 9+ months ago and we were talking about anything inference related, it was generally single node. And these nodes weren't usually highly interconnected. But as you look at inference at scale and distributed inference, that's where the network becomes more critical. So now you have to have these clustered systems. You have to have clustered systems that are delivering on the right performance. You also have to have the right clustered networking that will support multi-tenancy and that can keep up with the performance and security side of things. So it gives you that flexibility. That's one of the things I really appreciate from the networking solutions.
So as you look at this constant wave of innovation and changes, and almost every day there's something new, like you said, things are moving from centralized training to inferencing environments. There's a whole paradigm shift on multiple dimensions. What is top of mind for you, Mike, and then Dave?
I mean, top of mind for us is always, how do we deliver these systems at the right price, with the right architecture to meet the client's needs, and the right timing, because the world is extremely constrained on supply, and the demand is doing nothing but mounting, given the capabilities of all of these tools. So that's top of mind for me. It's finding the right partners to deliver at scale, predictably, quickly, cost-effectively, securely, and then can you operate that system and keep it running reliably over the long run? So that's everything that we're focused on right now.
Wow. And Dave?
For us, it's utilization, and it's important to us as a cloud provider, but it's also really important to our customers, because the way we get to sustainability is by full utilization of these platforms. So while we don't necessarily focus on multi-tenancy, because we're one customer, we're private AI, but we look at the jobs as if they're multi-job.
Correct.
And so we need to be able to prioritize those jobs to keep that utilization high, because that's where the cost savings comes from. If that equipment's sitting there not being used, that's just money being thrown away. Just like the traditional, why did enterprises go to the cloud and to VMware in the beginning? It was increased utilization and get their costs down through better utilization of the equipment. The same is happening right now all over again with the agentic flows. And when customers first start out, they usually pick one workload to work with. They immediately see that they're not running 24/7, because it's, especially if it was a interactive, user-driven workload. So you had a bunch of compute that was being wasted. Our goal was to find ways of making that a multi-workload environment, bringing the customers to choose quickly, get another workload so we can get that utilization up.
Nice. So a quick question, given the audience that we have, people who want to build AI infrastructure, people who want to consume from your respective environments, what would your advice be, and how can they reach out to you? And quick update from both of you.
Yeah, I think one of the things I was thinking is when Dave was describing their solutions, is the differences in our businesses. Like, from our world, we are truly a cloud services provider. So we're delivering bare metal as a service, GPUs as a service. We're delivering that with some level of managed services, whether that's managed Kubernetes or managed Slurm, based on your customer needs. But I would think, and I think, given the state of things and given everything we're talking about, costs of running AI at scale is becoming a bigger part of the conversation, and looking at token spend is becoming a bigger part, understanding the return on that. So to me, it's about understanding what your return on investment is and where you can find cost savings. And that's generally where the customers are coming to us, looking at bare metal as a cost saving mechanism, but also a performance boost.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
I guess quick advice, or shout out to people of how they can get to you and so on as we close.
I mean, getting to us is pretty easy. We're, www.searscale.com, or definitely working with your Cisco partners, because we're tightly coupled to the channel and really looking to solve problems. We're not looking for the easy stuff. We're looking for the problems that you're trying to fix. No CIO is getting a bag of money to be able to add AI. They're told you got to find a problem within your existing business and fix it with AI, and then any cost savings you get to spend on more AI. And that's where cloud providers are really good there, because you can take it by the bite. You don't have to solve everything right off the get-go. You can solve that one problem first, which is usually customer support. Everybody hates customer support. I don't care what side of the fence you're on, because you're just calling with a problem. Well, bring that problem to us and we'll help.
Awesome. Thank you for making the time. not just for this presentation, but also for Cisco Live. And thank you for being great customers and partners for us. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so silos to scale, using agentic ops, end-to-end AI networking, another powerful center stage session. Agentic ops transforms your data center into a future-ready AI powerhouse. We are going to continue the agentic ops conversation right now because we've got Rob with a special guest right here in studio. Rob, let's send it over to you.
Oh, thank you so much, Steve. So forgive me, because we were just meeting and we were talking about your area. Unfortunately, Vimala had to step away, but she was looking forward. She's an old friend. She's taking care of things, but I'm glad to meet you, Tell me, what is your full name and what are you responsible for?
So, first of all, thanks, Rob. What a pleasure to meet you. My name is Sai Natarajan. I lead products for Cisco's data center networking business with focus on silicon and systems.
Okay, good. Well, so you're a good one to ask this question for, because as I was thinking through, customers may look at everything that we're rolling out, and everybody's doing a network refresh and doing different things, and if maybe you're not paying attention as a customer, you're like, wait, what changed? My network has been working fine. Now you're saying that some things are going to be different. What makes AI for networking different?
Yeah, so the key change, Rob, is really the network is not just about handling the traditional workloads, which was really focused on the north-south traffic, and this was like getting the applications in the hands of the users. But now there is this new realm of AI workloads, and your networks need to be able to handle both the traditional workloads and the AI workloads. And AI workloads, a lot of it is about the GPU to GPU communication, but more than that, it is also about like how do you connect the GPUs, the CPUs, the storage, the memory. So your network is no longer a device or an appliance, but rather it is the platform that connects, brings us all together, and not just the devices, but also how you bring security and observability.
Okay, I like that, and it kind of confirms, or I hope, this thing I've been thinking of is I feel like the one benefit we have from a network perspective is that the network may be the only thing that you can really control these days. We have so many new things happening at the end, but the network is a required element in the chain of events to be successful, and so to reduce your anxiety about everything else happening, focus on the thing you can control, and you guys are giving controls for this.
Correct, yeah, absolutely, and I think, because that is the other key thing, like the networks now, it is not just about applications, these are agents. Like you're connecting the agents with your network, and that is why your network is essentially become a composable systems, like because like now, you essentially need to have the ability to pick and choose like how many GPUs you want, how many CPUs you want. So it becomes that intelligent backbone that connects not just the applications, but the agents. And like I said earlier, with that security and observability and becoming the true control point for everything that happens.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I heard in the keynote earlier today, there's the recognition that Kubernetes is playing so much more of a direct role in a lot of things we're doing, because we used to talk about this for cloud and cloud enabling legacy applications, but it remains important for being able to have the flexibility that's required to be successful in an AI-driven network. Can you explain what we're doing with Kubernetes and why that black box becomes important to understand?
Yeah, absolutely. So here is the interesting data point. 2/3 of the AI workloads is based on Kubernetes, which is like the, again, container-based platform. Now, if you look at between the Kubernetes, like you can have, let us say, different applications. Some could be your finance-based applications, some could be an internet-based applications. Now, the container-to-container traffic is visible to Kubernetes, but once it comes to the networking layer, it just comes as a single IP address. Like, so it becomes a black box at that point. So you really don't have visibility to what is happening between these two processes that are living in the Kubernetes world. And now once you come into the AI, as you're deploying these agents, it is very critical that you understand what the agents are communicating, what the processes are communicating, and that is what we are bringing now into the networking world, that real visibility into what is the communication between the Kubernetes.
I like that, and also what I kind of hear in the subtext is that customers who have not necessarily, they're maybe not hyperscalers, enterprise networks, what it sounds like you're also doing is bringing a level of simplicity that we haven't had before, because as things get more complex, this becomes the only way to move forward. How is that manifesting? Are you getting good feedback in this? Is the messaging resonating, and you're already seeing people take action in this?
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I think that is one of the advantages that we have with Cisco is like bringing together all this different technology. what is really important in the AI network is that observability and the visibility. When something goes wrong, if your GPUs are idling, it is almost like your agents have gone for a coffee break and like you're still paying them like a consultant by the hour. So it becomes very important to troubleshoot where the issues are happening. And that is why something like bringing that visibility and the Kubernetes visibility of the network, we are bringing that by using a technology that Cisco has with Cilium, with the
the eBPF and
the eBPF, and exactly, and that is what like we're bringing now to the. So now, whenever something goes wrong, you have the ability to troubleshoot and figure out exactly where the problem is. Like, is the problem with the process? Is the problem with the GPU? Or is the problem with the optics? Like, so you need that end-to-end visibility.
Which is all the way down to the kernel level, which just amazes me, because I remember early days at Cisco, we had acquired a security company, Okina, and it was doing intercepting system level calls, and I was doing some research for this, and I was looking at that, and go, how similar is this? And go, well, it was an early idea of something that's being done at a much bigger level, philosophically wise. This is amazing stuff. What's the most important thing to remember coming out of here?
So I think the most important thing is, it's again, like, I mean, we need to understand that we are operating in this world of agents. So the critical thing is, like, and we talked about troubleshooting, this is like all about how you bring the different cross domains. And here is where the Cisco Cloud Control, that's a game changer for us, like, because like now you're not just operating in a world of human agents, like troubleshooting different problems, but it is really about how do you incorporate the agents and how you use Cisco's Cloud Control to bring that cross-domain visibility.
I apologize, I'm going to have to cut us off. I love these conversations, we're getting deeper. But Steve, let's go back to you and continue the show.
Thank you so much, I do appreciate it, Rob and Sai. I want to take a quick sidebar to one of our great partners here, Equinix. Equinix is a cloud exchange. It's advanced interconnection that works between the solutions capability and your platform capability to give you that seamless, on-demand, multiple network overview. Let's go ahead and learn a little bit more about Equinix.
You were promised the cloud, but one cloud became many clouds, none of them connected. Then came AI, hungry for data and speed, hungry for access everywhere. The future doesn't need another cloud. It needs every cloud connected. One platform, every cloud, every network, every workload. Global, sovereign, secure, where AI lives without limits. Equinix. AI lives on Equinix.
Grateful for this fantastic partnership with Equinix. Thank you again so much for pulling the cloud together for us, exactly what we need for the critical AI future. We are, in about 1 minute, headed back over to center stage. We're going to take a look at Cisco Cloud Control, one of the big announcements that was made here in the keynote yesterday morning, and how it combines together with agentic ops to reimagine enterprise operations. This time on deck, Richard Zhang, distinguished speaker, senior product manager for AI Canvas, along with DJ Sampath, who we've been hearing a lot from throughout the week, Senior VP, GM of AI Software and Platform, and also Ayesha Chemnani, Principal Product Manager. So, what are we going to look at in the deep dive here? We're going to look into the future of enterprise IT. Cloud Control, big part of that story, as we've been hearing all the way along. Cloud Control and agentic ops are transforming your infrastructure today from a reactive system into an autonomous, adaptive set of engines through intelligent agents, unified control, real-time cross-domain intelligence, all built for the AI era. Let's send it out to center stage right now.
Every technological era starts with a moment. The moment the impossible becomes inevitable. For 40 years, we've built the foundation behind those moments. And as AI transforms every industry, we're building the infrastructure it runs on, a system that runs itself. Agents working together across every domain, finding and resolving problems before they become yours. Replacing reactive manual work with unified autonomous infrastructure. Because when all the noise stops, the real work can begin.
Please welcome DJ Sampath.
Hello and welcome everybody. I know just as I was coming up, this thing fell off, so I'm going to pop this into my back pocket. But I hope you all enjoyed the keynote. How was the keynote? All right. Fantastic. Folks, I'm so glad you all made it in time for this one. I know it was a little bit of a hustle, but I'm so excited about the kind of innovation that the team has been cooking up. And today, I'm going to take you through some more demos, which are going to go beyond what you just saw up on stage. We're going to do a double click into this. That's what the deep dives are meant for, right? And you're going to see a few of my colleagues come up on stage, and then we'll start to get into it. But before I do that, I want to set the frame. I want to just double click a little bit into what G2 was talking about earlier at the keynote. One of the key things that we're trying to accomplish here is to fundamentally change the way you operate your infrastructure, right? Imagine waking up every single day to that welcome that you just saw right there where it says, hey DJ, here are your actions. I've already taken care of a whole bunch of things for you. Knowing that the agents are working seamlessly behind the scenes makes all the difference. And so here, we're going to focus on these three things as our top priority. The first one is simplicity without losing sophistication. Cisco has built amazing dashboards, amazing management planes in each one of these specific domains. What we're doing now is to say, hey, listen, we're going to start to bring all of these pieces together, but we're going to do this in a way that we don't lose the sophistication that you had available to you. Second, we're going to start operating at agent speed. We're defining a brand new phrase, agent speed, because agents move really fast. And we want to define the core principles of what we mean by agent speed. And then finally, we want to leverage an open ecosystem. You saw and you heard about the cool things that we're doing with the ecosystem, and I want to talk to you a little bit about that, and hopefully I can show you some of that as well. Now, when we talk about simplicity without losing sophistication, all the Cisco products that you know and love are now going to be managed within Cisco Cloud Control. Because Cloud Control is a single operational plane. One login to be able to sign in, one shared and unified view, and we're going to bring all of these pieces and we're going to subsume Meraki, Catalyst, Security Cloud Control, Intersight, Splunk, Collaboration, Control Hub, and you're also going to see the fact that we seamlessly connect this into Cisco IQ. So it's far simpler, but you don't lose any of the controls that you would normally get from any one of those dashboards. The full functionalities of those dashboards are going to be available to you inside of Cisco Cloud Control. Now, when we talk about operating at agent speed, we need three core things to happen for you to be able to do that. The first one is we need to bring you cross-domain telemetry together into a single place, so that humans and agents can troubleshoot and debug together. The second thing that you're going to need to be able to make this happen, right, is you're going to need purpose-built models. Our AI research teams have been hard at work trying to build a model that understands network configuration and network topology. That's the deep network model. It's been trained on over 40+ years of how Cisco has learned to be able to debug and troubleshoot these networks. We also have a foundation sec model, which is a security model that is open source and available for you to be able to use to triage alerts, to summarize threats. It understands IOCs, indicators of compromise. It understands CVEs, common vulnerabilities, exposures. I could throw up a whole lot more of acronyms over here, but guess what? That model understands it. That model understands exactly what all of those things mean. It speaks that language, and that's what we do with these purpose-built models. These models understand that language. Finally, you've got trusted agents that do the heavy lifting while humans stay in control. And they use these cross-domain telemetry and these purpose-built models to be able to do what they do. Now, when we talked about the ecosystem, we really meant it. Folks, we have over 50 partners that are seamlessly connecting into Cisco Cloud Control. This is nothing short of being incredible, and we're just getting started. This is why we're building an open ecosystem, because we know that you need your agents to seamlessly work with agents from each and every single one of these partners to be able to solve meaningful outcomes for you. Now, to give you an even better, deeper dive into the product that you just saw me demo in the keynote, I'm going to invite some of my team to show you more. So Aisha, please come on up and tell us the magic of Cloud Control. Put your hands together for Aisha.
Hi, DJ. Nice to see you. Great keynote, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
I'm so excited for everyone in this room to get their hands on Cisco Cloud Control because, as you mentioned before, everyone in this room is used to operating in their own console, their own context. Each best in class, don't get me wrong, but Cisco Cloud Control is truly what unifies the entire Cisco portfolio under one umbrella.
That's right.
So as you can see, I've logged in here with a single set of credentials, and it takes me to this simple AI-first homepage. No menu to navigate, no dashboards to dig into as soon as you jump in. Just a simple AI-native experience where you can come and ask any questions about your Cisco portfolio.
That sounds awesome. Aisha, I've got your screen mirrored over here for me, so I'm going to take a look at it over here while you go through this, all right?
Perfect. And then if you can see, we have these 3 modes up here. This is the assistant for any quick tasks, quick questions that you would like to ask. The canvas, on the other hand, is for deeper investigation, deep reasoning, troubleshooting, and collaborating with your team. Think about it as like a workspace where your team is collaborating with each other as well as agents. Isn't that great?
What are these things on top, Aisha? These boxes that I see right on top.
Yeah, so you have a quick start, like a prompt library. So if you don't know what to ask it, you can just go click into any one of these and it will easily spit out an explanation of what's going on in your infrastructure.
That's right. Folks, imagine, like if you go to ChatGPT today, you see the sample prompts at the bottom that help you get started. We made these sample templates for you so that you could just click into this to be able to check the health and availability of networks. You could do WLAN performance. You can check into your data center computer operations. Those are really cool. You should check them out.
Absolutely. And the next thing you can see here is actions. You see this red dot? This means that there's a bunch of things you need to go review. Now, what's amazing about this is it's actually signals that are being correlated from your entire Cisco estate and telling you exactly what to do, and it's paired with recommended next steps. But hold on. The agents are doing the investigating and monitoring for you, but when it comes to actually executing on this decision, it's put in front of the operator to approve.
And Aisha, that's really important, right? Because a lot of times I get this question from folks that says, hey, if agents are going to do everything, I really worry about this because my infrastructure is too critical and I want to be really careful, so I want to be in the loop.
That's
so you're
right.
saying that we always make sure that humans are in the loop.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now let me take you to this 9 dot. And as you can see here, we've actually consolidated all of Cisco's portfolio under this platform. And across data center, campus and branch, cloud, everything is under one roof. Meraki, Intersight, Nexus Hyperfabric, security, Splunk, collaboration, ThousandEyes, IQ, Nexus dashboard, everything right here. But it's not just a set of links. You can actually manage all of these dashboards from within Cisco Cloud Control. Let me show you one of those.
This is really cool. Now, when you clicked into that, what's going to happen next is you're not going to have to log in again, right? It's a single login that just gets you over there.
That's absolutely correct, DJ. Cisco Cloud Control works on something called Cisco Unified Identity, which is a common identity layer. And it follows you as you traverse through the platform so that your team can have seamless access and never leave the context of Cloud Control.
That's awesome.
And so if you wanted to make a firewall rule change or zero trust policy update from secure access, everything can be done business as usual from right within here. And then let me give you another example, Intersight. If you wanted to manage your data center, you can come to Intersight right from this dashboard, all your servers, UCS blades, firmware updates, capacity management, everything from this single pane.
Hey, Aisha, pause there for a second. Folks, you're seeing here something that I did not show in the keynote, right? What Aisha did was just she clicked into those buttons on the top, which said security, or Meraki, or Intersight, and you saw that the whole thing loaded straight up inside of Cloud Control. That same dashboard that you know and that you love is now being rendered seamlessly inside of Cloud Controls, and you didn't have to log in, you didn't have to go to multiple dashboards, you didn't have to pivot. It's all in one place. That's super cool.
Let me tell you one more thing, DJ. What happens when we bring all of these products under one roof It allows us to create these incredible platform services. And let me tell you, the data is not just aggregated, it's normalized, correlated, so that you can get these rich, powerful insights across your estate, which would take somebody normally hours to put together reports on. So would you like me to walk you through an example of that?
Show me one of those.
All right, let's dive into inventory. So like you can see here, this is the inventory snapshot across your entire Cisco estate, but it's not just a simple list. We have actionable insights at the top. You can see your P-certs, you can see the security exposure, lifecycle horizon, compliance posture, and even a quick snapshot of the distribution of your assets across the product families that you own.
Asha, this is really important. I want to take a minute here. Folks, if you think about this right now, in a post-Mythos era, a lot of you all have to care deeply about exactly what vulnerabilities exist inside of your infrastructure. And it becomes important even more so for you to be able to get a good understanding of your inventory. Doesn't matter what you have to have a complete understanding of every single one of your switch, your routers, your access points, your devices, your collab devices, all of them in a single place. That's really, really cool.
That is really impressive. And we also have a list view, but what's cool about this list view is I can use the simple natural language capability to search for anything. So show devices that are not compliant, and here it is. Natural language, it took me 10 seconds, and it popped up all of my devices that are not compliant. If I wanted to go a click deeper, right here on the right-hand side panel is the metadata related to that asset, so I can go even deeper into this experience. What's nice about this is I didn't have to sit and write long queries or look for filters to apply. Natural language is the new way.
How many of you here think that this is cool? Quick show of hands. What? All right, that's everybody. That's amazing. All right. So you don't have to now put on complex queries. You just ask in natural language. What else you got for us, Aisha?
One more thing that I wanted to show that I'm very proud of our team accomplishing is this topology view. This is a live physical map of all of your sites and assets across your Cisco real estate, correlated and connected. And let me tell you, every site, every device, every edge is clickable. And this left-hand side pane actually dynamically changes when you go deeper into those views. So let's take my London office, for example. I can dive in from this map, and it tells me all of the assets that are a part of my London office.
That's pretty
I can
cool.
click into each one of them, see which devices are unreachable, and also what alerts are on which devices and how to resolve these errors right from here. And what's also amazing, it not just shows you that site's asset allocation, but which other sites it's connected to. So this London office, like you can see, is connected to Sao Paulo. So I can jump into Sao Paulo right from here without even exiting out into the map.
That's really neat, especially for an operator. This is going to be super important to have like a visual representation of how all of their devices are connected and be able to go from one site to another without having to lose context.
That's absolutely right.
Asha, this is super cool.
There's one more thing I want to leave you with.
All right. What do you got?
You've already spoken about this a little bit, but I just wanted to double click into it because this marketplace experience is where it goes beyond just the Cisco estate, right? This is where all of you, all our partners, can bring in their apps, agents, integrations, and tap into it directly from this interface and connect it natively so that Cloud Control has access to data across the system. So we're actually bringing the tools to the operator and not the other way around now.
Asha, that's so important, and I'm glad that you reminded me of this. And most of you, I use ServiceNow all the time, and I'm glad to see ServiceNow and Blue Cat right up there. And I see Amazon, I see Google. We've got some pretty big names.
That's right.
And we've got some, new startups over there as well. I thought I saw Linear if you scroll down a little bit. So we've got a mix of startups, large companies, hyperscalers. We've partnered with a lot of meaningful partners that I think you all will appreciate from an ecosystem perspective. So cool.
Yeah, and we're just getting started, DJ.
That's amazing.
It's an exciting moment for all of us, and I can't wait to see all of you in controlled availability. So
Thank you so much, Asha. Please put your hands together for Asha. Mr. Barton.
DJ.
How's it going, sir?
Doing very well.
Good to see you up here on
Likewise.
stage. For those of you who didn't know, Rob was my backup man, behind the scenes making sure my demo goes well. So, Rob, what you got for me?
So I want to show you a little more about Cloud Control. So you know how Aisha talked about this, the assistant, the canvas, the actions tabs. When you look into the Actions tab, you see there's a red dot there. That tells you something's going on that the operator needs to look at. There's something that demands your attention. So in Cloud Control, what we've done is we intelligently look at the alerts coming in, we organize them through AI, and it points you directly to say, this is something that you got to look at. There's something happening. So in this case, we see that there's a critical wireless onboarding failure in London, and it's related to Catalyst Center. So this is something, okay, London's a big office.
That's right.
So there's something happening, network could be down, and it says, go in there and check it out.
Let's go check it out. By the way, folks, when a network goes down, one of the things that I know about each and every single one of you that's an operator is that it's never fun. Your phones start buzzing, you start getting notifications, you have lots of issues coming up. So how do we help our operators? Let's get into it.
Yeah, this is a high pressure situation. So I'm going to click on Collaborate in Canvas, and it immediately takes us into AI Canvas. And on the left-hand side, so we have the chat that's on the left-hand side here. So this tells us a little bit what's going on. It just imported that alert. And immediately it ran a health check to find out what's going on there in London. Is there really something happening? And sure enough, it says, hey, we've got 610 DHCP failures. 650 clients have failed. This is pretty serious.
Hang on, 650 clients. That's 650 iPhones, 650 possible laptops that are not connecting to Wi-Fi.
These are people working that cannot work.
This is catastrophic. All right, so what do we do next?
So if I'm the network operator, the first thing I'm going to think about is this just London, or are we being impacted globally? So we need to first just nail it down. So I'm going to go into the prompt here, in the chat in AI Canvas, and using the prompt grammar, so this / that people are becoming used to, I'm going to go down to Discovery and Inventory, and I'm going to list out all the networks that we have globally. These are both Meraki and Catalyst Center networks, and it's going to give us a snapshot what's happening. So it's using this network overview agent, if you see in this box. So this is a special agent that knows how to collect inventory information and tell us the health of the network.
And Rob, we have a multi-agent architecture underneath, correct? And it's not just a single agent. It's a lot of these agents are constantly talking to each other, and then they're coming back. That's what's sort of generating the UI widgets that we see on top. Can you just go back to the one that you just minimized on top? I just want to point out one other thing. You'll notice that this data that is being generated by that UI is actually coming in based off of the context that it already has. So it's not the same as a static dashboard that you would normally see. You're basically seeing a dynamic widget be generated based on the context of what went into it. All right, so that assistant's taking a little longer than it should have.
So this is the fun part of doing live demos, because this is actually a live demo. This should actually come back in about 5 seconds, but it seems to be thinking a little longer. I'm just going to stop it. But we know that this is a problem in London. So at this point, I'm thinking, is there a ticket? There should be a ticket for this issue. So we got to see if we have a ticket. So one of the things I usually showed you was this partnerships we have in our marketplace. And one of our partners is ServiceNow. So in a good network, ServiceNow would have created an issue. So we've integrated it, which means it's actually wired up into Cloud Control, which means we can talk to it from AI Canvas.
Oh, let's see it.
So let me put in a prompt. Let's try this one. See, Wi-Fi issues in London.
So you're not posting, or you're not essentially pasting like a ticket or an issue number or anything else. You're basically just saying, hey, listen, go to ServiceNow and check if there are any active Wi-Fi issues. And at this point in time, it's talking to ServiceNow, and if it's, we'll see if this one comes back up, unless you might have to just do like a hard refresh.
No, we're working here. And did you notice I talked to the ServiceNow agent? It actually brought up that agent. So ServiceNow actually knows how to handle this request from AI Canvas. So it took that information that we had from the event, sent it to ServiceNow, and it gave us a bit of a report here.
Let's take a look at that.
So yeah, we have a ticket. So it looks like ServiceNow did create a ticket. So the top one here, alert detail. This is interesting. So the ServiceNow agent has given us a little more context. It says there is a similar incident on April the 8th, 2026, in the Dallas office. So there's this agent that ServiceNow has, the ITOM agent. So it's able to correlate similar events. If it thinks there's something similar between this one and another one, it's going to tell you about this. because it thinks this could be what's happening now. So it says in this case, we had an IPAM migration issue back in this Dallas office. So that's your IP address management system, manages DHCP. It thinks maybe that's the problem.
And that's a good clue, right, for us to be able to start digging into this.
A very important clue, yeah.
All right.
Now, not all the signals are going to come from things like tickets, or they're going to come from events. Sometimes people will send you an email, or they're going to text you. So we have to be flexible enough to allow these other signals to be incorporated into AI Canvas.
So how do we go about doing that? Because I know for a fact that in a situation like this, you're going to get text messages. You might get an email that says, hey, here's what's going on. Is there a way for you to be able to connect that seamlessly?
Yeah, let's take an example here. So we have our Alfred. He's our network manager in London. So Alfred just sent this email. So if we take a look at this, Alfred looks pretty concerned. He says, emergency. Team, our network is having a major issue. I can't get online. So I'm sending this email from a pub in central London.
I love the person's instinct when something doesn't work. Let's go to a pub in London.
Alfred goes to the pub for any excuse. There you go. So he says we've got a serious network issues on our London network. More than 600 of our users can't get on Wi-Fi, but strangely about 200 users can connect. So it's not like our full site is down. Something is definitely wrong. We need to get back online ASAP. Help. So Alfred's pretty concerned here.
I think this is also a very interesting clue, Robert. I think a lot of times when people are just pinging you, you get nuggets of information from different parts.
Actually, you're right. There is some detail in there that we could use. Let's go back to our troubleshooting, and let's see if we can use some of that. So I actually just took a screenshot of what Alfred sent us, his email. And I'm using a multimodal capability here in AI Canvas to drop in that email itself. And the model is going to read the email. So I'm going to ask it to, so I'm attaching.
All right, while you're typing that, folks, what we mean by multimodal is, when you have an AI tool that you're using, normally you're interfacing with that using text-based, communications. But sometimes you might want to paste an image, or you might want to record an audio feed. Our AI models that are supporting Canvas right now are multimodal in nature. So you can easily just grab a screenshot of that email and paste it over here. And when you give it a prompt with that question, it's going to be able to consume that and make sense of it and start using that as part of its context.
Yeah, exactly. So I put in the image of the email. I said, I'm attaching an email from Alfred, our manager in London. Use it for context. Please troubleshoot the networking issues in London. But I'm going to do something special here. I'm going to go into something called reasoning mode.
Ooh.
And I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to start to analyze this prompt. And this is going to do something really unique.
What's a reasoning mode?
Yeah, so reasoning is one of the most, I think, interesting things about how AI Canvas works. In reasoning mode, we take complex situations, and this is complex, right? We've got signals from the Catalyst Center events, we've got the ServiceNow ticket, we've got the email from Alfred, and troubleshooting is never simple. Like, this is a complex thing.
Right.
So what reasoning mode is, it puts the back-end models into a different mode where it actually thinks about the problem. And it's going to think, how would I analyze this? It's like a CCIE, right? Before they start working, they think about the problem and they plan it out. So deep reasoning allows us to think about the problem, put a multi-stage plan together, and what it will do in the back end is it will start to spin up agents. And these agents have different functions. So it says, I need an agent to go and get more telemetry data. So it'll go and pull something from Catalyst Center. Another agent will go get something from Thousand Eyes. And then it's going to have another agent that starts to even write code that parses out all of this data. And then another one, which is trying to use this knowledge base to come to a conclusion. These are like temporal agents. They didn't exist 2 seconds ago. It spins them up on the fly. And when it's done, it gives you an answer, and they're done. Actually, if you look here, it's already putting its plan together. And it says diagnose.
Look at that.
Yep, so here's the plan. So reading the email to extract the symptoms. So it's going to go through this. Now, it's going to take a little bit of time. But when it's done, it's going to hopefully give us an answer.
I love when a checklist comes together, right? And right here, the model is doing exactly that. Puts a checklist and says, okay, I'm going to get through each and every single one of these plans. Now, some of these things run, it takes a little while, right?
Hey, whoa, DJ. I think there's something that you need to come see right now.
Whoa, what's going on?
I was working in cloud control, and I noticed an actions that just came in that says critical CVE exposure in Las Vegas data center fabric.
Whoa. hang on. For those of you who don't know, CVEs are common vulnerability exposures. Now, this is basically a database of like vulnerabilities that are publicly disclosed and are available. So that sounds pretty bad.
Yeah, in fact, what it says right here is that it's affecting our Nexus 9000 ACI switches on 2 fabrics within one of our critical Las Vegas data centers that's connected to many of our powerful GPU servers powering our agentic technology. This is serious.
It is. Come on, what do we do about this?
Yeah, so what I'm thinking is that we can go ahead and hit collaborate in Canvas up here, and just like what Rob did earlier, we can bring the context directly into AI Canvas. Earlier, you noticed what it said was that authenticated SNMP attackers, if they get into the Nexus switches, they can cause a kernel panic, causing a reload. So what we're going to do here is that Canvas, luckily, is connected to many agents underneath. In this case, it's routing directly to a compliance agent, which is connected to this data center. It's going to be able to look into all the devices within that data center to see whether or not they're adhering to the internal as well as standardized policies. And as you can see, it seems to have come back with a whole entire topology as well as response, highlighting which ones are vulnerable and which ones are not.
That's super cool, first of all. And one of the interesting things, folks, notice is that Canvas as a tool is fundamentally a cross-domain troubleshooting tool. You could be using it to troubleshoot network assets. You could use it to be able to troubleshoot your security problems, and that's what you're seeing over here. It actually created a generative UI with a topological view, with a list of the alerts, so that now you can start drilling into this in a deeper fashion.
Exactly. Exactly.
But there's a lot going on over here. Simplify this for me.
Absolutely. So what I'm seeing right here is that it says the vulnerable releases is the 16.1.3f and 16.1.4h. But look at this. It says that there's already been a fixed release up here. And down here, it says the permanent fix would be for us to go ahead and upgrade those Nexus switches to the latest firmware. What do you think about that?
I think that makes a ton of sense. And the fact is that when you think about upgrading your firewall, or your firmware of your devices, these things take a long amount of time. So the fact that it's also come back with a immediate fix sounds really, really interesting. Now, one other thing to keep in mind is this, right? These agents are not just ones where you're interacting back and forth. These agents are constantly running in an ambient mode. That's what triggered this whole alert.
Exactly. Right? That's exactly it.
Cool.
But instead of actually going to do that immediate fix of updating that firmware, because the way that we know, when it comes to data centers, it's nearly impossible to find a maintenance window.
That's right.
What I also noticed down here is that there's an immediate fix that it has suggested to update the ACL on the firewall. In fact, what we notice right here is that there is a firewall sitting between the data center and the internet. And it says right here that right now, currently the ACL is allowing any IP addresses to go through the UDP port 161, which for those who are not aware, is what it allows us to go and access SNMP.
That's right.
So what we can do instead is suggesting a workaround for the time being that allows us to be able to change that access control list within the firewall to make it so that it's only allowing management networks instead to go through the firewall, therefore protecting us for the time being.
Richard, that sounds a lot more reasonable, as opposed to trying to change the firmware for all of the devices. So why don't we go ahead and do that?
Yeah. So what I can do here is I can type in, can you generate a workflow to remediate this CVE? And DJ, normally we would need to go to the firewall team, probably file a few tickets, bring everybody up to context, but what we're doing here is we're actually routing this directly to a workflows agent that's also integrated directly with AI Canvas.
Hang on a second. So this is really important, folks. So far, a lot of the demos that you were seeing so far were information that was coming into the canvas, but this is the first time we're about to take an action that changes the state of your system. So back to you, Richard. How are you going to make this change?
Yeah, so the great part about this is that we all know that at the end of the day, LLMs and agents have some degree of dynamicness. So what we want to make sure is that when it comes to configuration, we are making it more prescriptive. We're going to keep you all in the loop so you can all be here to understand the configurations and review it before they actually take place. And if you take a look at this right here, you can see that it created an entire workflow for you for modifying that firewall management center access control rule for specifically restricting SNMP. And down here, it created 6 different steps. First, starting from getting the FMC information, the domain information, checking to see whether or not the management network object actually exists, then finding the actual access control list rule, modifying it, deploying it, and then ultimately verifying it to make sure that it actually is taken place. I mean, DJ, this looks pretty rock solid. Should we go for it?
Hang tight. Let's take a quick step back, folks. I want you all to understand what just happened here, right? You can take, AI is fundamentally non-deterministic in nature. But a lot of times when you want AI to make changes to your critical infrastructure, you want it to follow step-by-step detailed instructions, and that's what you're seeing over here. We've integrated this with our workflows engine that allows you to specify exactly how you want AI to operate. You could choose a completely deterministic mode, or you could choose a completely automated mode, and it's a slider. You can toggle that slider as you like it, and that is really, really key. Back to you.
Absolutely. So let's go ahead and try this out.
Let's do it.
What I'm going to do, because you gave the green light, is I'm going to hit approve and then hit execute. And just like that, it's going to go through step by step. And along the way, it's telling you that it's completed every single step. And once it gets through steps 1 through 6, it means that we've successfully been able to mitigate this vulnerability in our data center.
Awesome. Yeah, put your hands together for Richard. Yeah. That's how easy it is, folks, to be able to, when you receive an alert and when you have to debug and troubleshoot and then take an action, you can do it that quickly. Back to you, Rob. Are you still reasoning?
So reasoning is done. Like the eagle has landed. We're there.
All right.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So it actually completed, and it gave us a ton of information, and it also summarized this in some widgets on some cards on our Canvas board. In fact, you see the world map down here?
I'm sorry, I'm going to pause you here. I'm just going to point you to, can you just zoom into the assistant? The assistant actually looked at that email, right? It actually said, hey, I triaged that email, and I was able to now look at the clue that that email provided, and it pieced the whole thing together.
It did.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
All right.
That's what the multi-step reasoning is able to do. And it gave us some pretty good conclusive data. It created this widget. It says we have 906 people in London that are trying to get online. And Alfred's pretty bang on because it says 650 of them were not able to, 256 were. So yeah, it's definitely seeing the right problem. And just like you called out, here it's saying basically your problem is both of your DHCP servers there in London are exhausted, which makes sense because we just upgraded to Blue Cat in London and it probably wasn't configured right.
Yeah. Most of the times, the issues turns out, it's a configuration issue because you introduce brand new dynamic systems, and it gets really challenging to be able to get everything coordinated. So, what do we do about this, Rob?
So we better let's go check the Blue Cat in London and see if it's configured right.
And you're going to do that straight here from Canvas?
Yeah, I mean, if it was a month ago, I'd call up Alfred and say, get back to the office and go check.
Yeah.
But I can do it from Canvas.
That's super cool.
So let me put the prompt in.
Are there any Blue Cat customers over here? Quick show of hands. All right, I see quite a few hands going up. All right.
And you notice it's actually routing to a Blue Cat agent here. So with that marketplace again, we've added it to Cloud Control. It's wired up, and now I can communicate directly to the Blue Cat IPM from AI Canvas.
For those of you who don't know, IP address management, that's what IPAM stands for. And looks like
that's pretty fast.
Well, that was pretty fast, and it's 0 out of 256.
Yeah, that means we've only got 256 addresses available in London. There's none left.
Oh.
They're all used, so this is the problem.
Okay.
It actually tells us the detail. There are a pair of /25s, so this is why we have no more addresses left.
All right. What are we going to do next?
We've got to fix it.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So you know how Richard showed you automating networking automation control from AI Canvas? Well, we can do the same thing to third-party applications as well, like Blue Cat. So we can actually ask Blue Cat right from here to increase the scope.
Folks, that is extremely powerful. What you just heard, what Rob say here was, not only are you getting information from your third-party vendors that you're integrating into your ecosystem, it's bidirectional. You can push a message back out and force, get your other third-party vendors to be able to take actions on your behalf, all from Canvas.
So I'm thinking 1,000 users. Is that about right?
That sounds about right.
All right, let's do it. There we go. It's talking to Blue Cat again. It's making configuration changes, talking to their agent. Their agent's taking the job. And if all works, in a couple seconds, we should have some results. And there it is. So it says the scope has now been increased. Oh, 1,024, even better. So it's increased it.
All right.
And
everybody likes some IP addresses, man. I'm telling you.
It's not sexy, but it's important.
Oh, it's really
so.
important.
So a couple of /23s, and I think they're coming back online in London as we speak. Do you want to call Alfred? I think he needs to get back to the office.
I need to get them all from the pubs back into the offices. Let's do it.
They're back online.
Yeah. Now that, but you earned a beer, so
that's a great idea.
Yeah, there you go. Awesome, folks. Put your hands together for Rob. Thank you. So what did we just see? We saw that from the demos, you now understand that we're unifying our management plane. We're making it easy for you to be able to troubleshoot across different domains. You have the ability to talk to third-party tools that are seamlessly integrating inside of Cloud Control and Canvas using Marketplace. And you can do this incredibly fast. That is the power of Cloud Control with AI Canvas. Now, I'd like to tell you one more thing that we're doing, right? And you heard us talk about this at the keynote, which is Cloud Control Studio. Now, we recognize that none of the tools off the shelf are going to be perfect fit for your environments. This is the reason why you use Ansible and Terraform and scripts, Python scripts to be able to help you with your automation journey to make sure that things seamlessly fit inside of your own workflows. What we decided to do was give you a tool to help you along the journey. We built the studio as a place for you to design and build agents and apps that are forged for your own environment. Now, with the agent builder, customers like yourselves and partners that help you on a day-to-day basis can build your own agents, and you can bring in third-party agents seamlessly. Now, this is really key. You can leverage your own data and your own intelligence to be able to fine-tune, build skills, and make sure that these agents understand exactly how you work. And we will ultimately help you run these agents in a safe and secure manner. The other thing that we also learned when we started talking to our customers was that in addition to building custom agents, they also wanted that first-class experience that they get from using Cloud Control by building their own custom applications. Now, we have a developer experience team that went out and said, hey, we're going to make it incredibly quick and incredibly fast for you to be able to build a custom app inside of Cloud Control, where you can use the SDK and write the code yourselves to be able to build an application inside of it. But then we said, what if we could take that to that next level? What if we could give you the ability to use Codex, a coding agent from OpenAI, so that you no longer have to think about, like, how do I write this code? How do I put all of these pieces together? But instead, you just prompt your way into building a custom first-party application inside of Cloud Control. And we said, let's go do that. And that is what is the app builder that you're seeing over there. Now, with the combination of Agent Builder and the combination of App Builder, you now have an extremely potent combination of customizing Cloud Control the way you want to use it. Now, again, I'm going to take a step back. We've shown you a number of different things that we're able to do this, right? It's really important to understand that while we're unifying your management under a single platform, we start helping you troubleshoot, or we are systematically helping you secure and automate your network. You heard Richard show you exactly how you could go about doing that. And by the way, what Richard showed you is incredibly important from another perspective. Securing your network has never been more important than it has been right now. If you are tracking what's happening with Mythos and the Glasswing project that Cisco is part of, we've learned that there are models right now that are capable of detecting or creating vulnerabilities 0 days that can compromise your entire environment. So what we're able to do over here is to show you that, hey, if you see a known vulnerability, the time it takes for you to be able to remediate is now dramatically lower when you start using tools that are agent native. Because you're not going to be able to stop the vulnerabilities. What you can do is to react at agent speed. And that's what we showed you with the third experience, which is securing and automating your network. We also showed you how you can easily integrate with third-party products. And last but not the least, we showed you how we can seamlessly manage your entire infrastructure. Now, when we turned on the ability to be able to build your own custom agents and apps, something really amazing happened. We started noticing both our teams and our partner teams starting to build really cool stuff. And I want to give you a quick snapshot of what that looks like. So if you don't mind, please roll video. Folks, how cool was that? The number of things that people have been doing with Cloud Control and Canvas has been absolutely unbelievable. The things that they have been able to build with the help of Codex, the help of the app builder and the agent builder. I am super excited to see what you all go out and build. Thank you so much for coming here, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of Cisco Live. Thank you.
Every day, billions of things just work. The lights turn on, the faucet runs, the signal connects. Everything clicks. Billions of times a second, all at once. From the simple things, to the human things, to the connected things that keep life in motion. And now, the intelligent things. In the AI era, reliability is the root of intelligence. Because every model, every inference, every agent depends on the network it runs on. Systems that never sleep, data moving at light speed, compute breathing through trusted networks, security that protects AI and protects against it, and observability that keeps agents accountable. This is where intelligence begins. This is why the world's most critical systems run on Cisco. The infrastructure the world trusts to turn intelligence into impact. Because when everything connects, AI doesn't just work. Humanity thrives. Cisco, the critical infrastructure for the AI era. Every technological breakthrough of the last 40 years has depended on one thing: the network. A system of connections that serves as the building blocks of innovation, the foundation of progress. Like the infrastructure for water, power, and transportation, modern society can't function without it. Now, as we enter the AI era, we're standing at the brink of the most consequential breakthrough of our lifetime, where billions of AI agents will work alongside us, tackling routine tasks while solving problems we never had the resources to explore. Where scientific breakthroughs will happen in days instead of years. Software innovation accelerates at breakneck pace, and organizations reach levels of productivity never seen before. But we'll need a different kind of infrastructure to unlock it. One built to move intelligence at scale. From GPUs to humans to agents, new connections will rewrite network traffic and demand a step change in compute, increasing security risks and operational complexity. Cisco is building the critical infrastructure needed to meet this new reality. We're reimagining every element of the data center, the workplace, and how it all stays protected. Reinventing IT operations with agentic AI to optimize experiences. Fusing security directly into the network, protecting every workload, every device, and every user. And our AI-powered data fabric connects it all, spotting problems fast and proactively improving digital resilience. That's why the world's leading organizations across hyperscalers, service providers, enterprises, and the public sector trust Cisco, the critical infrastructure for the AI era.
Let's dig into some investment scenarios.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
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 Run again.
Welcome to the uh-oh zone, where the network that you have is no longer the one that you need. Between their new AI-powered investment assistant, digital kiosks, and connected security systems, the network said, nope, not today. But there is a better way. Cisco Secure Networking, designed to scale for AI with built-in security that looks ahead to help you prevent problems. It's how we turn uh-oh into
Aha!
Aha! Aha!
Right on cue.
Let's build your plan.
Okay.
All right, great to have you back with us here in the TV studio. I'm Steve Moulter. We have just come out of another fantastic center stage session. Cisco Cloud Control and Agentic Ops. Powerful, popular topics here at Cisco Live 2026 this week. How do we reimagine enterprise operations? We just heard from Richard Jang, Distinguished Speaker and Senior Product Manager for AI Canvas, along with DJ Sampath, Senior VP and General Manager for AI Software and Platform. And we also had Aisha Chimnani, Principal Product Manager for us here at Cisco. How we step into the future of enterprise IT. As I said, Cisco Cloud Control, one of this week's top announcements here at Cisco Live, got such a strong reception when Chuck mentioned that yesterday at the opening keynote. This is the unified platform, autonomous infrastructure becoming operational reality. You combine that with Agentic Ops, Cisco is helping you to transform your infrastructure from reactive systems into autonomous adaptive engines that are built for the AI era. Fantastic center stage talk. So glad to have you with us here on the live stream from Las Vegas. Remember, keep reaching out to us on social media using hashtag Cisco Live. We are heading straight back into center stage. This time, we're going to look at the ways that we close the trust gap. How do we secure the agentic workforce? We have got Akshay Bhargava, VP of Product Management for AI Software and Platform, along with Kevin Kennedy, our VP of Product Marketing and Security. Agents reason, they act quickly, they don't sleep. That gives us a lot of business value, but they're also literal, and they lack judgment. They can easily be fooled or manipulated. It creates the ultimate insider threat. So let's learn how to close that trust gap. Here we go.
Hello, everybody. Hope everyone's having a wonderful Cisco Live day one. And thank you all for coming to this session on securing the agentic workforce. I'm really excited to share a lot of details with you along with my colleague, Kevin Kennedy. So let's jump in. First of all, we're moving through a fascinating time where we started off with AI is transforming from being just focused on chatbots and having a chat interface. And the worst thing that can happen in a chat interface from a security standpoint is that AI could say something bad. But now we're transitioning very quickly and rapidly since the OpenClaw moment into agentic AI. And agentic AI is really transforming the way that customers are using AI and the power of what things they can do. And AI is now able not just to say things, but also to act and act with agency. And most importantly, agentic is transforming into a way where AI is now not just a tool that's being used, but also acting as a digital coworker in many cases. Now, fundamentally, this means the way that we think about security for this kind of environment is fundamentally different than traditional software. When we had to secure things like data and applications and users, Now in an agentic world, we have to think about securing the whole end-to-end ecosystem of everywhere that AI interacts. And in order to do this, we believe you need to have three fundamental things. The first is you need to protect the agents from the world so that agents can act in a way that's safe and that they can act with their intent and no more. The other aspect is that you need to protect the world from agents, meaning that if there are agents that are nefarious or rogue actors, then you want to be able to contain and protect the world from them. And the third element is that if something does go wrong, you need to be able to act at machine speed and be able to detect and protect that at record pace. So I first want to start off by talking about what are some of the elements of protecting the agents from the world. And fundamentally, if you think about the challenge here, when we start with chatbots, the simple paradigm is that users are interacting with AI in the form of models, and that introduces in itself a set of new types of safety and security concerns. Everything from hallucinations or toxicity on the safety side to different types of security attacks, such as prompt injections or sensitive information disclosure on the security side. However, when you extend this out and think about the implications of how this model changes in an agentic AI scenario, what happens is that now we have an even more complex scenario where a user is interacting with a specific agent, and that agent could be interacting with multiple agents, both local agents or third-party agents that have access to various different MCP servers or APIs, and that are accessing sensitive data, applications, emails, RAG, and more. So this is how the complexity of agentic AI compounds the attack surface area. Now, we believe that in order to address agentic security and protect agents from the world, one of the things is that there is a three-step framework that I want to share. The first is that you need to do discovery, because if you cannot see the assets, then you don't know what to protect. So the first is you need to have a comprehensive discovery of all of the AI agents in all your AI assets. The second is you want to be able to detect and run validation. So that way, when you're designing the AI, you can know whether there's any vulnerabilities or other concerns with the AI. And then the third is you need runtime protection in place. So all three things working together in concert are the things that you need. Now, the other dimension of this that's very important is that AI, it's important to also be able to move to where the AI is actually being built and run. So you want to be able to do discovery, detection, and protection everywhere that agents are being built and run. And there are two important places where agents are built. One is on the endpoint. So if you think of tools like OpenClaw or Claude Code or others, those are examples of agents being built on the endpoint. And there's also all of the things that are being built in your cloud infrastructure, whether that's in, whether you're using frameworks like LangChain or others, or whether you're developing in AWS or one of the cloud providers, you want to be able to protect there as well. So let's take a quick look at, on the endpoint side, what are some of the things that Cisco is doing to help our customers protect on the endpoint? Now, one of the fundamental things that we believe is that builders overall are oftentimes the exposure to some of the endpoint solutions starts by individuals. Either they're deploying or testing things in their own environment. And for them, we want to democratize access to have good security. And for this reason, we've introduced a number of compelling capabilities that we have open sourced, everything from our skill scanner to MCP scanner, A2A scanner, that are all available and all available on GitHub. And builders are using this to secure their AI development right now. The second thing that we launched at RSA is something called Defense Claw. And Defense Claw is a secure framework for deployments on the endpoint, including OpenClaw or Claude Code or Codex. And what it does is it's built on top of NVIDIA's, it integrates into OpenShell and provides a holistic governance for all of the endpoint AI. So these are two of the things that we have on the endpoint side. And now I want to transition and share with you what are some of the compelling things we're doing on the cloud infrastructure side. One of the products that Cisco we launched over a year ago is a product called AI Defense. And AI Defense provides a holistic approach in terms of protecting agents from a discovery standpoint, detecting, as well as protecting, and with runtime guardrails. One of the things that we're announcing and launching at Cisco Live is extensions to AI Defense to make it much more personalized and context aware. And if you think about it, if you're building different agents, if you're building a finance agent or a customer support agent or a software engineering agent, each of them have different purposes, different intents, even different compliance requirements. And as a result, they have different security concerns that they need to worry about. So for this reason, we're intentionally creating a number of features around agentic red teaming, which allows you to create custom red teaming. So if there's a vulnerability or a specific type of behavior that you're concerned about, you can type it in natural language, and AI Defense will test that agent for those type of parameters and tell you what's working and what's not. Similarly, we're introducing a new capability called Policy Studio. And Policy Studio helps customers create runtime guardrails that are custom using natural language, and it guides you through the process of making sure that it's robust and ready to be deployed. The other dimension is that we have introduced secure agent supply chains and also the support for any agent platform across any cloud, any infrastructure, across any NVIDIA environment. And now to maybe bring this to life, one of the things that I'd love to do is show you a quick demo of some of the customization capabilities that we have. And so maybe if we can switch over to the demo, I'll show you a live demo of this. And so one of the things that we see here is I'm logged into our AI Defense product hosted within Cisco Cloud Control. And we have a new feature called Policy Studio. And within Policy Studio, it has a list of all of the different policies that I've created that are all custom. And let's imagine in this example that I want to create a policy for a specific medical application. So I can enter a new policy profile. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and launch the Policy Studio. And when I launch this, give me 1 second. My network may have paused out here. This is always the fun of real-time demos. Give me just 1 second here. So one of the things is, while it's just reloading for a second, one of the things that I'm able to do is I can create a custom policy and using native language. And maybe if it's slow, let me just try to see if I can go into one that's already created. Make sure. Well, this is always the dreaded fear of any person doing a live demo. This is how you know it's live. So give me 1 second if I can get back in. Looks like my network is not working. Okay, maybe we'll switch back to the slides. I'll just describe this very quickly, and then we'll come back to it. One of the things that I wanted to show you in the demo, and unfortunately it's not working right now, but in the Policy Studio, we're able to simply type in a prompt, as simple as, I want to create a custom policy for a healthcare application. And then what it does is it'll walk me through the steps and say, okay, I understand what a healthcare application is. Let me go and try to recommend a certain set of policies. And after that point, it'll come back and say, here's some things that I believe are safe for this medical application. Here's some things that I think you should block. And here's some things that I recommend you to give me some more input on so that we can jointly fine tune and tailor the policy for you. And after that point, you can easily click and select different things that you want and answer a few questions. And all of a sudden, by the end of a very quick iterative process, you have a custom policy for that tailored application or that tailored agent ready for you. So that's the power of what Policy Studio is. And Looks like we'll see if we can get the network fixed in a second. But in the meantime, what I want to do is we talked a little bit about what we're doing from the vantage point of how to protect agents from the world. And now I'd love to bring up Kevin so we could talk a little bit about what are some of the things that we're doing to protect the world from agents. And then I'll come back and talk about things at machine speed. Okay, with that, here you go, Kevin.
Thanks. Oh. I was warned that sometimes people forget to take those off. I'm like, not me. Okay, so Akshay set that up with protecting agents from the world, making sure that they are not tricked, compromised, misdirected into becoming the ultimate insider. I want to talk about the other side of that coin, which is making sure that the agents have the access that they need to do their jobs, but don't run wildly amok. And so this is something that is very top of mind for many of you, I'm sure. We did a survey back in January and saw vast majority of people already experimenting some phase of adoption. I'm sure 4 months later, that's even higher. And yet there's this big gap to broad production. Number one thing that people cite is security and governance. And what are they concerned about specifically? The first is, what can these things access? Second is, what are they going to do to my data? And the third is autonomy. So it's a double-edged sword. Autonomy is what we want in agents. It's what makes them so powerful. And yet, from a risk and a security standpoint, it's the nightmare. They're non-deterministic. We don't know quite how they're going to behave. And so we have addressed these types of challenges in security for years with zero trust. That's the foundational principle. But it was different for humans. Why was it so different? We rely on human judgment. There are consequences. When people don't do what they're supposed to do, we can fire them, we can fine them. There are consequences. And so what we really focus on in zero trust is how to prove that the person is really the person. We think about MFA, we think about behavioral analytics that say, is this person acting differently than they have in the past? All to establish the identity. Then we give them access. And we say, I'm going to trust your judgment. I'm going to trust those consequences. That doesn't exist with agents. They reason, they're non-deterministic, and there are no consequences. And so we need to enforce that judgment in policy, which means you need to go from access control to action control. And that's a big shift. But it's actually even harder than it sounds because the agent ecosystem is so chaotic. If you think about it, agents live everywhere. They're everywhere that your users are. They're in hotels, offices, airports, casinos, and they're also in places that your workers aren't. They're in data centers. They're in SaaS apps. They're in public clouds. And so they're really, really distributed. And back to that non-deterministic thing, they are task-based. So they're not going to do the same thing over and over. It depends on the task that they're given right now, and then they're going to figure out how to do it. And so that's a very, very different model. And then there's enforcement. And that enforcement, there are lots of enforcement options. That's good. It's in your identity provider. It's in the SaaS app. There's guardrails and models. But that means it's fragmented. And more than ever with agents, inconsistent controls equals no control because agents are very, very good at being persistent in figuring out how to do what they're asked to do. And if you put a block in place, they'll find a way around if there's a way around. And so we think the fundamental, when you come to zero trust for agents, there's three components. There's know your agents, back to the same concept of discovery. You have to know what your agents are. You have to authorize every action based on the intent and understanding of that action. And then just being allowed by policy isn't enough. Just because it's allowed doesn't mean it's safe. And so you also have to be constantly reacting and adapting to risk to adjust. And we also believe, back to the consistency problem, that there is a point to enforce a consistent access policy, and it's where the agents interact with the world with your tools, with your data, with your applications, that's the place to enforce. And so we bring the components of this. The first is on the identity side. And this is discovery. It's looking at API calls to places that agents live. It's using network visibility, DNS requests, MCP interactions, and it's also looking at endpoint activity with secure client to be able to pull in what's happening. So figure out where are the agents, then build a directory. What are they supposed to do? Who owns them? And now we have, and also manage the life cycle. And to accelerate this, we've announced the intent to acquire asterisks. For those of you who don't know asterisks, but probably many, they are the leader. They defined the non-human identity category, and they're phenomenal. The technology is phenomenal at discovering things like service accounts and managing and governing the life cycle of those accounts. And as we look at agents, this really gets supercharged. The demand for this type of visibility and access, agents use a lot of service accounts. So this really helps in broadening our ability to discover and manage non-human identities and agentic identities. Now, beyond the identity, that's critical. You have to know, but then it's important to authorize every action. And this is where the gateways come in. And secure access is the primary gateway that we are using to enforce these zero trust provisions. So agents work across a workflow. They interact with an LLM to do reasoning and planning. They call tools using Model Context Protocol or MCP. They interact directly with APIs. And they're also browsing the web for additional context. And so with the capabilities in secure access, some which existed before, some which we're announcing this week, it extends to be able to monitor and force access where the agent never has the credentials. They're all in secure access. So there's basically credentialless access from the agent standpoint into all of the services that it needs. And then adapt to risk in real time. This is, back to, hey, it can be allowed by policy, but not safe. So imagine an MCP server that it's okay to use this tool, it's okay to connect, but guess what? That is a compromised MCP server. I don't want to allow it. And so you can block that. Or it's okay that this coding agent is deleting things in GitHub, but this is the 100th or the 1,000th or the 10,000th delete in 30 seconds. I'm going to throw a guardrail in there, or circuit breaker, and I'm going to stop it. So there's a variety of things that can react in real time to that risk to also help in tightening the policy. And because this is enforced in the network gateway where we are accessing the tools and the data, it works for any agent. Whether it is, you don't have to change the agent's code, and so it will work with third-party agents, no code, low code, wherever it is, the things you build can also be enforced through this type of a gateway. So that is a sneak peek to, or a quick overview of what we are doing to protect the world from agents. I don't have a demo. I wasn't daring enough, but I will bring back Akshay. I don't know. Are you gonna try the demo again, Akshay, or you're gonna try it again?
I've been told the demo gods are with us now, so I'm going to try the demo again. Thank you very much. So if we could switch back to the demo. So coming back to demo, we do have a hard line in now, so hopefully everything will go smooth. So coming back to what I was sharing with you all, we're going to be creating a custom policy for a medical application. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to launch the Policy Studio. And when I launch the Policy Studio, one of the things that you'll see here is that you see a very simple chat interface, similar to if you use Claude Code or Codex or any of these frameworks, a very simple chat interface. And what I'm going to do in here is you can just simply describe your policy profile. So I'm going to type in here, help me build a policy prohibiting customer-facing agents from providing medical advice. It's a healthcare application, but as a healthcare provider, we do not want to share specific medical advice. And so all I'm going to do is, and if I wanted to, if I had a policy document, I could also just drag and drop that here. Or if I had a picture of some recommendations, we could also drag that in. And so now what I'm going to do is when I click go, the Policy Studio Assistant will tell me a plan of all of the things that it's going to go out and do and the steps that it's going to take to help build this policy. Now, usually that takes a few minutes. So one of the things that I've done is it starts to go through and it says, okay, I can help build that policy, but before I start drafting it, here's a few things that I want to align on, the application context, et cetera. So it asks me a few different questions to go through, and then we go through a very rapid interaction, at which point we will build the policy. Now, one of the things that I did was before this session, I also created one just so that you would be able to see what it looks like once it's fully done. And so one of the things is after I went through the different prompts, I was able to come in and now the policy will show up. It has a few questions for me on things I agreed on, and it gives you a quick overview of the policy. And what it provides is certain things that it is recommending that should be blocked, certain things that it's going to allow, and certain things that it believes are corner or edge cases. So some of the things that it's flagging, it's saying anything that has specific medical conditions based on a user symptom. It's also come up with, it's not going to provide dosage amounts, timing, etc. The things that it will allow general wellness statements that are not tied to user-specific condition, general health education, etc. And it also has some different edge cases. So this is an example of creating custom policy with a simple prompt and going through a few different iterative steps so that you have a tailored policy in place. And as you can imagine, this is a very powerful thing to do, either with a single agent or with a multi-agent type of setup. You can both do the red teaming to test agents for specific things, and then also build custom policy based on the things that you find. So let's come back to the slides, and then hopefully that was helpful just to see the power of making agentic security personalized and context aware. Now, the third piece that I wanted to talk about is we talked a little bit about how to protect the world, how to protect agents from the world. And we talked about the power and importance of AI defense as a core capability on the infrastructure side. We talked about Defense Claw and all the open source things on the endpoint side. Then Kevin talked about protecting the world from agents. And now I want to talk about the third dimension, which is all around detect and protect at machine speed and scale. Now, how many of you have friends in the SecOps team? For those of you who do, the one thing that they will always tell you is that they need more people. That's one of the things I always hear from SecOps people, because the number of alerts and signals that they get is just too much. Every new technology that we put in place creates more signal, and SecOps is struggling to look at all of those signals. And fundamentally with AI, that model has to change because we cannot keep adding more and more humans to look at signal. And now with AI, this concept of an agentic SOC is much more achievable than we've ever believed it can be. And so now we can use AI to analyze every signal. We have the ability with an agentic SOC to look at massive amounts of data, to have agentic response automated with agency, and also have reinforcement learning so that the agentic SOC continues to improve itself. Now, one of the things that's really important is, of course, we need the security elements that we've talked about, but in order to troubleshoot and resolve at machine speed, we also need the full observability of the end-to-end stack. Everything from the existing applications to all of the new components within the AI stack as well. So to this extent, one of the things that we've launched is within our observability for AI capabilities available in Splunk, we now have AI infrastructure monitoring, which helps you understand the operational metrics as well as the tokenomics. And we also have AI agent monitoring. And AI agent monitoring helps you understand the quality of the outcomes. And so these are two really powerful capabilities that are very tailored towards AI and agents. And one of the things that is really crucial is that we believe that integrating the observability into and shifting that left into the actual build process is really, really vital. And this is why we are really excited to onboard and bring the Galileo team. So we've acquired a company called Galileo. They have started at Cisco. They're part of the Splunk team now. And their expertise specialty is around bringing observability into the development and build process. So hopefully now that gives you a sense of all the different components of protecting AI agents holistically and being able to detect and respond. And if you want to learn more, we do have a Keynote Deep Dive tomorrow on Wednesday at 2:30. And there'll be a number of my Kevin and my esteemed colleagues, including the CTO of Workday will also be there. And HV Fueler will also, someone from HV Fueler will also be there. So hope you can attend that session as well, and really appreciate all of you coming to our session. Thank you all, and hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you.
Every technological breakthrough of the last 40 years has depended on one thing: the network. A system of connections that serves as the building blocks of innovation, the foundation of progress. Like the infrastructure for water, power, and transportation, modern society can't function without it. Now, as we enter the AI era, we're standing at the brink of the most consequential breakthrough of our lifetime, where billions of AI agents will work alongside us, tackling routine tasks while solving problems we never had the resources to explore. Where scientific breakthroughs will happen in days instead of years, software innovation accelerates at breakneck pace, and organizations reach levels of productivity never seen before. But we'll need a different kind of infrastructure to unlock it, one built to move intelligence at scale. From GPUs to humans to agents, new connections will rewrite network traffic and demand a step change in compute, increasing security risks and operational complexity. Cisco is building the critical infrastructure needed to meet this new reality. We're reimagining every element of the data center, the workplace, and how it all stays protected. Reinventing IT operations with agentic AI to optimize experiences. Fusing security directly into the network, protecting every workload, every device, and every user. And our AI-powered data fabric connects it all, spotting problems fast and proactively improving digital resilience. That's why the world's leading organizations across hyperscalers, service providers, enterprises, and the public sector trust Cisco, the critical infrastructure for the AI era.
Well, welcome back to the studio from another insightful keynote session on securing your agentic workforce. You know, we heard about how these agents, they never sleep, they reason, and they act fast. I don't know about you, but that sounds like my 11-year-old. But while this may bring incredible business value, the question on the floor is, can they be trusted? And we just heard about how our security innovations can help you close that trust gap. I tell you, there's more to come. We're going to continue with the momentum. And right now, I want to bring before you our amazing co-host, Lauren, who has another conversation with another guest in the studio. Lauren, who do you have over there with you?
Hey Z, I am here with Kevin Kennedy, VP of Security Product Marketing here at Cisco. Kevin, when people hear AI agents, they typically think of chatbots, right? But what's actually changing for us when we start talking about the agentic workforce?
Yeah, I mean, so I think we've talked about it quite a bit at the show, but it's the chatbots answer questions, agents act. And so that is a game changer for productivity, but by land of security, it's also a game changer. The risk changes a lot from a security perspective.
Speaking of which, what exactly does it change from a security challenge for enterprises? Because I feel like we had role-based access control, right? So can we just give them an access and be done?
If only it were that simple. We think there's a couple of things. One is these agents, they're persistent 24/7, and if they are compromised, they become the ultimate insider threat now that they can act. And so we have to think about all of the things that they're interacting with, web pages, emails, they have tools and skills. And so all of those are new ways that they can be compromised. We spent decades building email security, web security, the things to keep our users safe. Now we need to do the same for these agents, but it's in months, weeks, rather than decades. And the second piece to your point about role-based access is these agents, they act, but they don't have judgment. There are no consequences when they do the wrong thing. We rely a lot on that in Zero Trust. We rely on proving that Lauren is Lauren. And so as soon as you're authenticated, you get access to an app, you do whatever you do, there's consequences. That's not the same with agents. That changes how we approach Zero Trust and security.
Speaking of which, so what does the change need to look like when we're saying zero trust? Just simply, that kind of was a tongue tire there, but I feel like Zero Trust has been the standard for so long, right? And like you said, we've been looking at employees and doing it with people. Yeah. Now we have to think about these agents that, and I'm going to add something to it, but the agents, like you said, they don't have this idea of consequences. Yeah. And then the agents, I feel like they are very much so, they can hallucinate anything. They may think they're doing the right thing. What happens when they are convinced that they're not doing wrong? Yeah. Like all of those things. What does Zero Trust need to look like?
So that's the fundamental shift is from access control to action control. So when we think about it for humans, it is back to that idea of prove that it's you. So multi-factor auth, those types of things fit in to prove that it's you. And then you're in Salesforce, you do what you do in Salesforce, we trust. Mm-hmm. With agents, because they might be compromised, but they also may just do things that we don't expect and break the rules because all they want to do is accomplish what you've asked them to accomplish, no matter what that means. You need to really think action by action. Is it allowed to do this action based on the intent that whatever task they've been given is requiring of them?
That makes a lot of sense. And I feel like I've heard in the keynotes and from all the different segments about the importance of guardrails. So it sounds like that's what you're speaking to, right? Like we need to have guardrails around.
Yeah, there's a guardrail to the kind of the front of the agent, and when the user interacts, are they asking safe things? And then there's also kind of guardrails around what the actions that it can take when it's accessing systems and data. Is it allowed to, so it's the difference between an engineer can get into GitHub, but which repos are they allowed to commit? Are they allowed to delete things? Are they like, what are the specific actions? Those are all guardrails of different types that need to be in place.
That makes sense. So, and I feel like you kind of answered this a little bit, but just if you were to share with all our customers out here, what is Cisco's approach to helping our customers secure this new digital workforce?
Yeah, so it goes back to the big pillars of we need to protect the agents from the world. And so that means making sure that they are not tricked, compromised, misdirected into doing bad things. And then we need to protect the world from agents, which means we're putting all of these Zero Trust guidelines in place or Zero Trust policy enforcement in place so that they're allowed to do what they need to do and access what they need to access to do their job without running wildly amok. And then the third thing is no matter how well we do those, we know that things are still going to go wrong, and so we need to be able to detect and respond at the speed of agents, so at machine speed.
I love it. And I feel like, and this is something, audience, you might hear me talk about a lot of, but I'm super passionate about this. I just learned so much from you, Kevin. Thank you. It feels like everything I heard was we need to do this to the agents. We still need people. So it's not like people are going anywhere, right? It sounds like you're saying we still need us to be able to help get to the next level.
100%.
Well, thank you so much for that, Kevin. This is a super insightful team. Learn more. We have a lot of ways for you to learn more about what we're doing with Agentic Workforce. Thank you. I'm going to pass it back to the studio.
Thank you so much, Lauren and Kevin. What an amazing micro lesson. I tell you, if you're just joining with us, we want you to connect with us on our social media sites. Join us on hashtag Cisco Live. Drop your thoughts, your questions, any special moments. If you have any questions for our SMEs out there, they're ready to answer your most challenging problem that you have. Someone is out there ready to answer that for you. And I tell you what, if you're not here right now, you need to make it your point to be here on next year. I tell you, Cisco Live 2026, it's amazing. But you know what? We keep up in the ante every year. 2027 is going to be even greater. You know, we've been talking about how things have been changing so fast. No telling what we're going to be talking about on next year. So we want you to be a part of it. So stay connected. I don't know about you, but there's so much going out here on the World of Solutions floor, and Steve is out there with us. We want you to tune in, lean in, check this out.
So you got to check out what's going on behind me. This is our spectacular Cisco showcase for Cisco Live 2026 here in Las Vegas. Unbelievable space, bigger than it's ever been. This thing is massive. It is loaded with the smartest people in the industry. These are all the people that can support you from every side of your organizational need. We've got brilliant SMEs in here, great engineers and IT leaders. We've got fantastic managers and directors, all of the experts who can work side by side with you to get you right where you want to go. 100+ demos, not to mention all of our theaters, giving you so much great content throughout the day. We've got our center stage theater right back over here on this side. Back behind me are 3 Cisco Lightning Talk theaters. These are your quick hits, your 10, 15 minutes oversights, those insights into where you need to go next, what you need to do to accomplish what you are here at the conference to accomplish. So let me just kind of walk you through quickly what you're going to see back in there, just so you know all of the different options and capabilities, and we're going to bring them all to you here on the live stream. So it all kicks off right in the center. We are the critical infrastructure for the AI future. What does that mean for you specifically? It all begins with the Cisco Platform Advantage. The Platform Advantage is your edge-to-edge, literally end-to-end Cisco portfolio that puts all of the pieces together in the order that fit you best. Every investment that you make in Cisco is a build on top of an existing Cisco investment that you already have. This is not a rip and replace concept. This is the ability that every step you go, whatever you need next, we are ready to make it happen, all under the Cisco platform. It protects you across visibility, across your network, across your operations, everything fully secured. You are all set to go thanks to the platform advantage. Then, as we continue around the showcase, we've got the AI-ready data center. As you continue your build out, as you decide what your migration to the cloud looks like, what it is that you need to accomplish, what your customer expects from you, it is the AI-ready data center that brings all of those pieces together. It is the technology that assures that wherever you go next, Cisco is right there side by side with you, giving you the support, the expertise that you need, and making sure that you are ready to go at every stage. That guides you to the third pillar here in the showcase, which, right back over there, future-proof workplace. What does that mean for you? You can't be taking any risks. You have to have extraordinary confidence in every aspect of your build-out and every dollar of your budget and how it's being spent. So, the future-proof workplace means wherever you go today, we are going to follow you tomorrow into the future. We're all on this journey together. We really do not know where AI is going to take us individually as organizations or all together as a culture, as a Cisco community, but whatever steps you have to go on with your business, the future-proof workplace makes sure that your people, your devices, all of your different locations, whether it's nationally or globally, are all doing what they need to do and are going to follow you every step of the way with every aspect of the budget. Then as we continue around the outside, all the other theaters, Cisco Insider, customer success stories, and at the heartbeat, the very center of the showcase, you've got the NOC and the SOC. The Network Operations Center, Security Operations Center, they are literally open window platforms. You can walk in the door, check them out, see exactly what it takes to build out an entire network in 1 week, and then come back and tear it all down in a day. That NOC is running every aspect of communications and network platform capabilities across everything here at Mandalay Bay. So much to see and do and check out when you are here at the show. And if you're not here at the show, make sure that you get here so you can take advantage of everything happening back in the massive Cisco showcase. So cool.
Thank you so much, Steve. Oh, so much to see, so much to do. And I don't know about you, is anyone ready for some retail therapy? There's nothing like retail therapy after all these sessions, all these keynotes. And although you cannot be here to walk the world of solutions, walk the showroom floor, to grab some swag, you still can be a part of the shopping experience. You're not here at Cisco Live now, but you can browse online and shop at our Cisco merchandise store. You can find that online, and I tell you, we're about to show you what you can find. Some swag, you can find all of the brand gear. Take a look at it and what you can find out there.
Okay, let's be honest. Most people come to the Cisco store for the merch, and there's plenty of that. But there's a lot more happening here than meets the eye. The Cisco Store combines exclusive Cisco Live merchandise, partner collaborations, and cutting-edge retail technology into one unique experience. Whether you're looking for Cisco Live exclusives, AI-themed gear, or special collaborations with McLaren, the Olympics, League of Legends, and USGA, there's something for every Cisco fan. But behind the merchandise is something even more impressive. Through Cisco Tech in Action, attendees can experience a live end-to-end retail environment showcasing how Cisco and partner technologies work together to deliver smarter operations and better customer experiences. From Meraki smart cameras and Cisco Spaces to Splunk, Thousand Eyes, Unified Edge, and more, the Cisco Store Tech Lab demonstrates how real-time data can transform every customer interaction. And if you've ever wondered what it would be like to become a Cisco champion, there's an experience for that too. The AI-powered Be the Champion experience transforms attendees into stars of Cisco's biggest global sponsorships in just seconds. The Cisco Store is also helping support the local community through products that benefit the Nevada Partnership for Homeless Youth and initiatives that provide essential items to those in need. So whether you're here for the merch, the technology, the experiences, or maybe all three, the Cisco Store is definitely worth a stop. Just don't blame me if you leave with more than you planned.
I know you saw some merch that you want to go and purchase. I know you did. I know you did. If you're just tuning in with us, I tell you, we're over half of the day and there is still more to come. We're about to get ready to jump over to our center stage, hear about another keynote. But before we do that, before you lean in just a little bit further, get up, stretch, take a break, get your favorite beverage, and I tell you what, take a look at our social media platforms and don't forget to use the hashtag Cisco Live symbol, okay? Okay? We're gonna get ready to hear from our leaders. Our next keynote is how AI and security are reshaping the collaboration platform. We're gonna hear from our leaders Sonore, Ahmed, Vinod, and Espen, and they're gonna tell us how closing the distance with connected intelligence. This next keynote is gonna be about how every enterprise runs on decisions. We need to get from decision made to decision in motion, and they're gonna tell us how to do that, how to take the risk out of that. And so we want you to join this session, lean in and learn how collaboration powered by AI and are grounded in our security infrastructure is gonna help you get to the next level. I tell you, lean in just a little bit further. It's gonna be some exciting stuff coming to you live. So let's go over to the center stage in just a few seconds. Let's go over there right now.
How's Vegas? Had a good night last night? That's good. It's always fun to be in Vegas, and it's always great to be here, to be with so many friends, so many industry friends, and people that I've known for a long time. And for all of you, those that are new here as well, it's great to see you, and it's great to have you here this afternoon. So, we listened to Chuck this morning. And we heard Chuck use the word geopolitical turbulence. We've heard him talk about problems with DRAM. He spoke about Mythos. He spoke about a lot of things that are happening. And when you listen to what he spoke about and also what he discussed with Nicole from Starbucks, you see that there's a number of things we are fighting. And in all of this, how do we operate in that? It literally comes back down to the trust is architectural. Trust is not something you could say, oh, trust me, trust you, trust the company, trust that. Trust comes back to the architecture we build in the solutions that we are building, the way we put them together. Because the components, the setup, the design you make is actually what is going to build that trust. Having the right tools, having the right management, having the right observability is what's actually going to build that trust. Trust is architectural. And that is what we're going to talk about today. And you'll see how that comes into play for contact center, for devices, for suites, and for the entire offering. You also saw this slide this morning. Both Chuck and G2 used it on the big stage. And I bring it up because one of the key pieces to Cisco is our 3 focus areas. Collaboration is part of the future-proofed workplaces. The leadership team is actually developing networking, Wi-Fi access points, Thousand Eyes, control, manageability, observability, collaboration, and all of that together. That allows us to bring in things like security pieces, to bring in the AI that goes across. And that is really where the Cisco strategy is converging. Because whether you're operating a system or you're using it, collaboration and the way we design that is the experience for future-proofed workplaces. Some of you heard me talk about this before. There are really 2 key users to any collaboration solution. You have the ones that actually use the systems, they're in the meetings, they're actually in the chat, they're on the video systems, that is using it every day. That is mission critical in most organizations in 2026. You cannot operate without. But that also means that the people that own and operate that service, they're absolutely key to have the right tools to be able to own and operate and make sure that that mission critical can actually go on and on and on and on, ideally to 5 nines. It should only be out for a few minutes every year, and you need the right tools, you need the right setup, you need the right architecture to be able to do that. And then you have the user needs that are consistent, they're secure, and the experiences we are driving. So these 2, the people who use it and the ones that own or operate, they're different users, but then they have different stakes. But building the right architecture, with the right architecture, bringing that together, we can actually get those solutions going. And one architecture is actually built for both the user and the operators. And we can actually deliver that from Cisco, bringing this together without adding risk, without adding complexity for the operators, but actually take it out. And you saw it so clearly this morning with the Cisco Cloud Control and all this dashboard and apps that you can bring down and how you can actually work that and have that there. Because it lives where people and AI work together. I've been in this industry for a while. People to people has been part of my life, literally. How well can I see it? What type of resolution, the quality of audio, the content and everything. What we're adding now is people to AI and AI to AI. I think people to AI we get. In most meetings now, I would say in all the meetings I'm in, there is an AI agent or a number of them. It can be Copilot from Microsoft, it can be our own agents, it can be summarization, it could be a number of agents that's there that we interact with all the time. The third piece to this is actually AI to AI. And you think, AI to AI, how does that work? No, the best example I have for AI to AI is actually in the contact center space. Because when you think about users in the contact center space, you have the people calling into a contact center, then you have an AI agent or a person that you're talking to, a people agent, but you also will have an AI supervisor or a human supervisor. So all of a sudden, you have an AI supervisor actually supervising an AI agent. That is AI to AI, and the easiest way of thinking about this. When we bring all of this together, this is what we call connected intelligence. When you're having that discussion out in your organization and companies, talk about these 3. Are you ready for people to people, people to AI, AI to AI, really the connected intelligence? Because it's about manage and it's about secure. And it's really to bring that resilience in there. You heard G2 today talk about AI defense and all of the things that we're doing on the security side. We bring those into the collaboration offerings as well, so that we have the ability to govern and to secure our AI models, the cloud data, and the endpoints. So I think we can all agree on that even over the last months, the operation has changed, and it has changed a lot with the introduction of agentic AI. And that is the key discussion to be had. So let me double-click on that a little. Because the next step for operations is how do you operate with Cisco Agentic Ops? And you saw it this morning. It was really at the core of what we were talking about. Because what we are doing is that we are shifting from being reactive to being orchestrated. Reactive to orchestrated. AI agents will continuously monitor. They will be continuously managed. You will continuously troubleshoot. And that means that you can resolve them before the teams even know. And only Cisco can see that whole picture. At G2 said this morning, he said, collaboration is now part of Cisco Cloud Control. Now you can manage your networking, your security, and collaboration from the same place. You tear down the walls between them, you tear down the silos, and you can operate across that. That means that you can connect the data across the different domains. The teams can identify and resolve the problems. And you can bring in things like AI Canvas, AI Agent, 360, Cisco Control Hub, etc., also starting from Cisco Cloud Control. And it's all about the guardrails. It's the guardrails we set up. Because the foundation of all of that is also trust. Because with the ability to work with agentic, we must also make sure that we have the trustworthy and the guardrails set up in all of that. So this can provide your teams with the confidence to move fast. AI defense will put AI governance at your hands, and it will be customized guardrails for all AI agents. So operations give you that foundation, but the real experience is also happening in the room. And in the room, that is the key word I have to invite onto stage Espen Låberg, that's running our Cisco devices. Espen, welcome to the stage.
Thank you, Snorre. And hello, everyone. I'm super thrilled to be here today because we have so much to talk about. The needs of today's workplace and today's workforce is different. Employees working alongside AI agents, expecting the workplace to just work, without friction, without configuration. And then the IT and OT and infrastructure demands are also different. The pressure on IT to support more rooms, more workers, more AI, without more headcount. And closing this gap in the middle, where most organizations are living right now, where AI is raising expectations faster than infrastructure can keep up, is really what this is all about. For Cisco and for all of you customers who are making long-term bets on your physical workspaces right now. When we talk to customers, these 6 imperatives come up consistently as non-negotiable. These are the requirements for organizations that truly care about the agentic workspace. And these map directly to the reasons why all analysts rank Cisco #1 in collaboration devices. That's not a coincidence. It's a proof that we have been building consistently towards customers' actually need. Because Our devices that you see here, they are no longer a line item. They are the last mile of AI infrastructure in the workplace. The physical layer where everything Cisco builds becomes real for the people in the workspace. And what I want you to notice is not only the breadth of this portfolio, it's the consistency of the architecture beneath it. Every device a node on the network. Every device feeding data back to cloud control. Every device getting smarter over time without replacing hardware. That is what built for the AI era means. It's not a spec, it's a system. Back in February, we announced 3 new devices. The first one we announced was this cute little fellow here, the wireless 9821. This is where we extend the seamless experience of WebEx calling to frontline workers, to warehouse staff, to nurses, to the manufacturing floor, with secure Wi-Fi and push-to-talk capabilities. It will be orderable this week, and it's in beta now. Then, this guy, the Cisco Desk Pro G2. This is your ultimate express install of agentic experiences to your small huddle spaces and personal desks. Also shipping, and is actually selling like hotcakes at the moment. Finally, we have the beasts. The Kit Pro G2, which is simplifying your large spaces and finally bringing together all of the elements that are required to make agentic experiences work in your most complex spaces. Your divisible rooms, your boardrooms, your auditoriums. We co-designed the compute module that powers all of this with NVIDIA. It delivers 25 times the AI processing power of our previous generation. And now, today, we have even more to show you. Let's take a look.
The Cisco Board Pro G3 is your bridge to the agentic workforce. The physical AI layer in your workspaces, delivering dynamic meeting experiences and multi-camera setups powered by AV over IP and our Director Agent on the most interoperable platform, capturing notes and action items along the way. Whiteboarding has never been smoother, and with zero-touch provisioning, deployment at scale becomes effortless. Every space comes alive with real-time insights through embedded sensors and our Workspace Advisor Agent. Cisco Board Pro G3, the ultimate all-in-one device, built for the agentic workplace.
What do you think? The best collaboration board in the industry is entering its 3rd generation. We raise the bar again with more processing power for more responsive collaboration apps and modern agentic experiences. 25 times more AI. This is a truly future-proof device. Then we have more AV over IP camera and microphone support. So you can add more of our cameras, you can add more of our microphones to really enable visual collaboration in more spaces. And then this is the first MDEP certified collaboration board. This means that, and I can tell Ilya is clapping, and this means that you now have something that is truly future-proof for your visual collaboration spaces. And you can also go out there and replace those Microsoft Surface hubs that are currently end of support. So if your space needs visual collaboration, this is your go-to product. And the principle behind the board has never changed since we started developing this in 2017. The board should serve the people in the space and serve every collaboration workload. And the G3 takes that further than any device before it. So, we talked about the last mile of AI infrastructure in the workplace. Our own agents is where that really comes to life. They're built into the architecture, running locally, protected by the infrastructure beneath them. They're not bolted on top. So we have our translator agent that is now coming to our phones in the second half, delivering real-time translation seamlessly across our phones and the WebEx calling experiences. Then we have the note-taker agent that is already available across the WebEx app and our devices that now give you seamless transcripts and action items out of the box. We have the director that can now direct up to 8 cameras and 8 microphones with our Codec Pro G2 and really deliver stunning, no button to push experiences in any workplace. But then my favorite agent is our Workspace Advisor that just went available in a month back. It's a mind-blowing digital twin of your workspace, integrated into Cisco Cloud Control. So let me hand it over to Rich and the team in Oslo to show you how this works.
Hey everyone, I'm going to show you a brand new feature in Control Hub called Workspace Advisor. I'm in the Workspaces tab at the moment. As you can see, I have a room called East Fjord. Let's click into that. And as you can see, this room now has a brand new view where we can see the digital representation or digital twin of the room in real time in Control Hub. This is great because now we have some new things we can detect that wasn't possible before. For example, we can see there's some camera coverage issues and some meeting zone coverage issues. Let's go actually look into the camera coverage. As I do that, I'm going to set the view of the room so you can see the entire room. And as you can see, we have a camera issue at the moment where Natalie is actually currently off the screen, and that's because someone probably has moved the furniture, which has made it impossible for everyone to be captured correctly. So we can open a ticket with facilities to get that fixed. But in the meantime, let's enable our dynamic camera mode to kind of show you the experience of what you get with every Cisco device. Now, because it saw me and Natalie, we now have a frame shot, but there was someone missing at the back of the room there, right? I swear there was someone there on the table before. So let's go look at that. Meeting zones. That was the other issue we had. So now we can see inside of meeting zones that they haven't captured everyone in the space. So we can go edit that. So let's take the length of the room and let's go continue to this here and let's click save. So even if I'm 5,000 miles away, I can still configure the room and configure the settings. In a few seconds, there we go. Now Stephen appears. So the best part about this experience is also with dynamic camera mode. It doesn't matter if you're sitting at the table or you're on the table. We capture the best view of you at any time. And that's it from us.
Wasn't that amazing? But the value of Cisco Cloud Control and the Collaboration Hub goes beyond the beautiful pixels you just saw in the Workspace Advisor. We are now able to bring agentic ops for our workspaces directly into the tools where you are working every hour. Let's have a look at how we're now integrating Workspace Insights into Copilot and see what happens when we compare the room that Rich called in from in Oslo to another room in Oslo and see how those rooms are being comparatively used. In the past, you had to sift through endless dashboards and spreadsheets to come up with this insight. Now it's happening in seconds. And you can see very clearly here how these rooms are comparing. One is used for large groups, another one is used a lot with, even if it's a big room, it's mostly used by up to 3 people. And you also see other insights that we weren't really aware of. We see the spikes here and some other interesting facts. But it's quite clear that one of these rooms, which is really built for many people, mostly used by 3, should probably be cut in half. What do you think, Snorre? Is this useful?
You know, this is just incredible. And the way we bring together the manageability and Control Hub and everything, and Copilot, I really like it. Thanks, Espen.
Thank you.
Big round of applause for Espen. I can't think of a better segue into bringing a guest to the stage. I would like to invite a very good friend of mine, and we have done some really good work together. Ilya Bergstein from Microsoft. Give me a good round of applause. Thank you, Ilya.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
What do you think? Manageability, Copilot, MTR. I mean,
well, that was awesome to watch from down there, and I think this is why our partnership works so well, is because we share so many of the same views built on trust, focused on both users and admins, bringing together amazing experiences. So yeah, thank you for having me here, be able to see this, but it's just awesome.
It's good fun, and it's really good what we're doing together. But you've described this as the era of agentic coworker. So how do you envision that looking in practice, Ilya?
Yeah, I think we are moving into, you could argue, the second inning or the next phase of AI. The first phase very clearly was about arming all of us with knowledge. And I would argue any of us now can ask any question, get instant knowledge back. The next phase is about giving us more hours, more superpowers as a team. So the limiting factor, I think you talked about this in ops, for most customers I talk to, is how many people they have to deploy devices, manage devices, do workflows. And now with some of the technologies we announced this morning called Microsoft Scout, we are literally able to have virtual teammates that do work on behalf of us or our team. And that's the age that we're just getting into, but I think it's super exciting.
And it's almost what we talked about earlier with connected intelligence, you know, people to people, people to AI,
That's
AI
right.
to AI, and it's really down that path. But Microsoft and Cisco, you and I have been working together for some years now, I would say great success. Now we've gone MDEP.
Yes.
And our partnership is getting stronger, and it's here, and we're very proud of having MDEP. What's the next we should solve together?
Well, first of all, I want to say again, thank you to you, Espen, the amazing team in Norway, for taking the big bet. It was great. I was watching this boot up. I took a picture of the team where it said powered by MDEP. You know, you have taken a significant bet on Microsoft for Teams, but also as the platform. I think moving forward, we're going to do a lot more in the category of what Espen showed. When we bring together Cisco's knowledge and powers from an operational perspective with some of the agents that Microsoft has, whether it's Copilot, I know we're doing more around Facilitator together, I think we can deliver incredible value for our customers.
No, I think you're right, and it leans really well in with the Cisco Cloud Control that we launched today, where you really break down those barriers and the access that Cisco has to all of the networking and security and collaboration. But, you know, managing collaboration at scale, you know, it gets harder.
Yes.
AI agents become part of the IT environment. What is the visibility and the control and the tools that IT will need going forward?
Yeah, I think, again, we are now at a point where many of you, our customers, have said they can't deploy more devices and manage them with the people they have. They need to give those people virtual teammates. So when I saw the demo of, hey, a Copilot query that tells me how rooms are used, that's part of the future. That's such a clear vision of the future where, as an administrator, I should be able to have an agent do my room sweep for me instead of having someone with a backpack walk to every room. I mean, heck, the rooms have eyes, ears, and a brain. We have agents running in the back end. So I think that's the future where, and Cisco is definitely leading the way with what you do today, whether it's with Thousand Eyes or Control Hub. It's being able to have agents within the operating plane that customers are using do work that humans would have had to have manually, slowly done before. And devices are such a key use case because you think of them as physical. Hey, someone has to go change the meeting zone in the room. But that demo showed that more and more devices are actually completely digitally controlled and therefore perfect for agentic automation.
No, and I think that's spot on, and also all the other underlying data that we have access to through Control Hub. And, you know, I think with MTR rooms now, 96% is actually connected to Control Hub. So let's bring that to 97, 98, maybe to 100. But let's bring it home here with the last question about Copilot. You know, Copilot started as a personal assistant, and it's becoming something bigger. I mean, we just demonstrated it up here now. As AI agents start working across platforms, what changes for the IT teams and for the people that's actually doing the work? I mean, this is a big question.
Yeah, I think as people doing the work, there's so much upside to saying, hey, I need an interpreter. Let me have one there right away instead of waiting for a human to show up. I need an expert in Vegas hotel setup. Have an agent show up right away. But as an admin, it's a whole new world where effectively what we're doing when we do that is we're creating coworkers. Where did that coworker get their identity and what access do they have? So I think we are very much focused on enabling our customers to manage this in a rational way, so it's not just an explosion. The really cool thing about the partnership is you have the ops, security, network side of that. The two have to get together. What network rights and privileges does an agent have? How can we monitor what the agent does so we have super high confidence? I think that's the future. Admins will have to think about humans and AI as units of work that we have to manage.
No, I think that's spot on. Ilya, thank you
right.
so much.
Thank you.
Big round of applause
Thank
for
you all.
Ilya Rikstein.
Thank you for
you.
having me.
I think that's a very, very good segue into the next. And I would like to invite to thank Ilya and then invite to the stage Amit Barave that runs our Cisco WebEx suite.
That's right. Thank you. Thank you, Snorri. All of these foundation models, agentic AI, it's a massive, massive unlock for unified communications. Because think about it, before all of this, going to meetings was a bit like going to Vegas. What happened in these meetings stayed in the meetings. That's not the case anymore. Every single conversation we go with all the rich context in there. Context across people, places, devices, agents. Every single interaction we have is capable of making the next one smarter because it is feeding into the context. And while we are doing this, AI agents are sensing, they're taking notes, they're capturing action items, and they're even performing all those actions. Wait, in this case, all of the sensitive information, intellectual property that is being exchanged in the conversations, it's making its way to the AI models and AI agents with a great deal of autonomy. What's not to be concerned about that? And this is where the architected for trust is a key pillar. So context, conversations, automations, backed by a trust architecture is connected intelligence. And that is how WebEx is leading the next evolution of unified communications. Now, back in October at WebEx One last year, we launched a number of collaboration agents of our own. The note taker, the polling agent that's coming soon, the AI receptionist that has just gone GA. But my favorite one is the translator agent, because that's where, instead of talking about automating what we do, we're actually doing something that was not possible without AI. Like me speaking in my language, but you being able to hear me in your own while preserving my sentiment, my intonation, and so forth. And we're not going to stop there, and there's more coming. But every time I talk about a translator, I am used to getting interrupted. Yeah.
So you talk about translator. I mean, it's amazing. It gets your tone of voice, you get everything. But you know what? I think we should try it out. Let's demo it.
Let's go for it.
Okay.
All right.
Can you make a call to the phone here?
I am going to make you speak Spanish today.
Okay.
Let's go.
En realidad es realmente bueno estar aquí en Las Vegas, la ciudad de las luces y los altos edificios de cuentas con increíbles.
Is that cool or is that cool? And when do you plan to deliver Norwegian?
Oh. I'll speak Norwegian. There's more coming. Besides the translator, the one that I'm excited about is the meeting prep agent. We're always playing 5 to 10 minutes, catching up roughly in every meeting that we go to. There's no need for us to be doing that. The meeting prep agent every single morning will give you the pre-brief for all the meetings that you need to go to. And that pre-brief is built on all the context that the system has about you. The prep is only as good as the context. But the context lives in so many different places. It lives in your documents, your productivity software, your workflow applications. And this is why it's critical to have a comprehensive agentic integration ecosystem. We've already shipped a number of these integrations with Microsoft Copilot, Agentforce, Slack, Jira. But I'm most excited about what's coming soon, because there are a few work surfaces that are emerging right in front of us. Claude Cowork, Gemini, or Codex. And in a couple of months, we're going to be shipping bidirectional integrations with all three of these, giving ourselves a comprehensive context and automation ecosystem. When it all comes together, let's see how it looks. Let's play the video.
Let's get them on the line now. Hi, everybody. Good morning. Good morning, everyone.
The best people spend their time on the work around each meeting. Scheduling, summarizing, translating, chasing. WebEx Suite agents handle all that while the meeting happens, so the meeting can just be a meeting. The meeting prep agent makes sure everyone has all the right docs, chats, and context before the meeting begins, so they're ready to focus on the big questions. As you meet, the AI agent transcribes, takes notes, and tracks action items in real time, so you don't have to. If people speak different languages, nothing gets lost in translation. The translator agent works in real time, capturing not just the words, but the tone, emotion, and nuance.
Il faut un moment fort. Football sponsorship doesn't just put our name in front of people. It says, we belong here.
I hear you on the story. It's a good one. But I think we have to talk about what the brand is saying.
Not everyone will agree. That's when the polling agent reads the room, detects it, and suggests a quick poll. When it's time to wrap, the scheduler agent looks at everyone's calendars, finds the best meeting times, and makes it easy to lock one in. And after the meeting, the task agent gathers, assigns, and tracks action items for everyone on the call, and helps you complete them. That's the power of WebEx Suite agents. The AI takes care of the work around the meeting, so your people can focus on the meeting. This is work in the era of connected intelligence.
This is not it, because the most interesting one is the one that I'm going to announce next. And that's enterprise voice agents. Think of it as the contact center AI agents we have, the contact center AI studio we have, getting extended to WebEx Suite. And what that means is we are augmenting that capability to add low-code, no-code voice agents and deploying those in minutes with any and every of your WebEx calling number, should you choose to. And I didn't do the demo right here because there's a spot saved for it tomorrow, but if you noticed anything here, you would have seen an agent that's building agents. Really prompt the agent studio to get your agent built and deploy it. And that is such a huge unlock for a spectrum of use cases. On the one hand, you have the really complex, sophisticated, and calibrated contact center AI agents. But there's so many cases, whether it's your front desks, your kiosks, your branch offices, or helplines. All of these are now enabled in minutes through WebEx voice agents. If you have WebEx calling, this is a no-brainer. This is actually a no-brainer for you to have WebEx calling, just for this reason. Quick plug, you will see a lot more about this in the center stage session, 11:30 a.m. tomorrow. I hope to see all of you there. And without further ado, to dive deeper into the customer experience, please welcome Vinod Muthukrishnan.
Thank you, brother. All right, I got this. All right, fantastic. Thanks for listening. The reason why we obsess over connected intelligence so much is because in 2026, the one thing that is neither connected nor intelligent is customer experience. And we all face that as customers. That's why this is such a work of passion for all of us. And the answer, now you might have mildly guessed, is probably AI agentic, but that's not the answer. The answer is a framework that makes agentic work for you. And that is what we're showing. Because long before AI and conversational AI and voice agents came the conversation, the ability to orchestrate omnichannel, bidirectional conversation between brand and customer is the foundation of engagement. And to be able to do that in one secure, manageable place is at the heart of creating delightful experiences. When you do that, and you add AI to that conversation, you learn something you'll hear us talk a lot about, which is context. Context is what makes the conversation intelligent. Context is how we reconnect when we meet after many years, except organizations don't remember you. Context is the heart of intelligent orchestration. And we'll talk a lot more about that. Sorry, I need to go back. Let me finish that thought out. So all of this needs to sit on a platform. The platform needs to be complete. We'll talk a little bit about what we're going to do on the completeness of the platform itself. But the most important thing in the age of AI is trust and reliability. We've never had a greater opportunity to reinvent customer experience than we have with AI, but we've never had more threat vectors impacting AI too. So how do you bring all of that in one single platform? So you offer one consistent experience to your customer on one platform that is complete, yet open and interoperable, and built on a foundation of trust assured by Cisco. And all of that, as I said, starts with a conversation. And as far as conversations are concerned, first impressions matter. Let's roll a little video to show you how exactly it matters.
With the new AI Concierge, every interaction feels like a continuous conversation. Instead of navigating disjointed experiences, your customers enjoy connected, customized journeys. AI Concierge is connected to tools across your entire business, so it can leverage AI memory to recall even the smallest detail. It's like a conductor, orchestrating multiple AI agents to work across information silos, handling diverse tasks and delivering answers with unmatched voice quality.
Let's get you booked on the next available
With the
flight.
same platform, you can access AI Agent 360, which allows you to continuously monitor and manage the security and lifecycle of your AI agents. Remove guesswork with visibility into predicted CSAT, hallucination rates, and agent accuracy, and ensure trust with advanced guardrails and security tailored to your business's needs. Unlock better, more connected experiences for your customers with AI Concierge and AI Agent 360.
All right. Let's double click on what you saw. A concierge agent is supposed to do 5 things seemingly with elegant ease. The first is hold a conversation with the customer across any channel, no matter how async it is, over any period of time, and hide all the complexity from them, which means access any of the knowledge sources that you need, be able to take any actions, orchestrate the action of multiple other first and third party agents, but all this while do one very, very critical thing. Everyone spoke about it before me. It is to retain context, because context is what makes us intelligent. And I'm so excited to announce the agentic context engine that goes across the entire collaboration portfolio, which retains the context from every single engagement, every single conversation, and builds a real-time context graph that listens to what you say, senses friction signals, builds propensity models, and that powers personalization at a scale that previously was impossible. It actually makes the AI agents intelligent because it's enriched with your context, personalized at a scale of n equal to 1. And that makes the concierge agent truly revolutionary as it pertains to customer experience. But that brings us to the workforce itself. The workforce in the contact center hasn't changed in decades. And the tools to manage that haven't changed in decades either. Now, AI went from being a toy 3-4 years ago to a tool to what it is now, a digital coworker. And that is why we have foundationally reimagined the entire suite of tools you need to manage and operate a truly hybrid workforce, a connected workforce where humans work with humans, humans work with AI, and AI works with AI. That's why I'm so excited to announce our native workforce suite with QA, QM, workforce management, all the things you need to measure that entire workforce. And the way these tools come together, forecasting, scheduling, intraday, should not be shown on PowerPoint. You need to show a little demo. So wish me luck as I show you a few screens. I saw DJ this morning, so everyone needs a little luck. Okay, let's go here. All right, what are we looking at? So what we're looking at is your intraday screen, because all good plans have never ever survived reality. And if you've been ever in a contact center, you know the reality is really, really much worse than your plans would suggest. So what do you have here? You're looking at everything you need to see, queues that are backed up, queues where you have a surplus, agents who are out of adherence here, for example. And what you can do here is, as you're looking at this dashboard and figuring out what to do, operations do what operations do, and it tells you something's happened. So you've got a credit card freezing outage that has happened, and now AI tells you that there's likely to be an X spike in calls, and you're not sorted for that. So what do you do there? You need to go and reforecast. So you go to reforecast, you pick your queues. So credit card servicing queue, you add a volume lift of 10%, you apply. And what it does is now pops a new widget. It tells you that you need to add 5 agents to the queue. Now, this can be automated, but we've chosen to keep the human in the loop. So you see here the forecast queue, you know exactly the hours, you know exactly what the problem is, and it says the recommendation is to add agents to queue. You configure, you know exactly the agents you need to move, you move the agents to the queue, it shows you what the impact is, and there, magic. The reforecast is done. You've responded to. Fabulous. I love the power of AI, but AI without accountability is a liability. I think Amit said it. These agents are going to access your sensitive information, act autonomously, talk to external entities. What could possibly go wrong? In the age of AI, we possibly are looking at infinite opportunity, but we're also looking at infinite downside. That is why I almost shudder at the thought of being an AI application company if you're not a full-time observability and a security company. Because the threat surface is so vast that AI is not a bolt-on feature. You literally need to be a full-time observability company and a security company, and then do something else that is incredibly important, bring it all together, vertically integrated to give you the benefit of these 3 things. So let me show you what's happening here. So we spoke about AI defense coming into the AI Agent Studio. With AI Agent 360, we are getting AI defense and observability vertically integrated into the suite. So when you build these agents, you also think about how to secure them. So let's look at what's happening here. So you've got a certain queue. You're looking at building this agent out. You want to create custom guardrails, except if you create the wrong guardrail or don't create the right guardrail, it is your problem. Instead, what we are telling you is you can go to the policy studio, you can upload your policy documentation, and when you do that, it picks up per your policy what's a red flag, what's a green flag, what's an edge case, and it builds out the custom guardrails for you. Otherwise, the weakness always is the person who's writing those guardrails. But your policy documentation is taking care of all of this. And that is why with this integrated approach, you're bringing the true power of AI defense and security to the agent building studio. If you're building AI agents that are going to talk to your customers, either do all of these things or don't build AI agents, because it opens you up to a threat surface that is truly unimaginable. What is also unimaginable is that my 10 minutes are over and I need to go. So to bring it all home, I would love to call back upon stage Snora Kespu.
Really fantastic. And you spoke about autonomy and accountability. And I think that really wraps up really the key thing during this presentation, which is really about trust. Trust is architectural. You saw that when we spoke about devices and the tools. You saw it when we spoke about Suite and the tools, and you now saw it as well when we looked at the contact center and we have that accountability. Otherwise, you will have that liability in there, and that is absolutely key. So, trust is architectural. That is foundational for all of our users, and it's foundational for our platform, and it's really about one experience, it's about one platform, and one Cisco across people, IT teams, and customers. So with that, I have one more thing to say. Please register now for WebEx One. WebEx One is coming up in the fall. I want all of you there. And you'll get a QR code up here in a couple seconds. And I really look forward to seeing all of you in Austin, Texas, in the beginning of October for WebEx One. Have a wonderful rest of Cisco Live.
And a very good morning to all of you all over the world, wherever you happen to be tuning in to the live stream broadcast from Cisco TV. It is Thursday, 8 o'clock a.m. Pacific time, closing day here at Cisco Live 2026. Unbelievable, incredible conference. We have had so much fun all week long. I'm Steve Moulter on behalf of our entire team. It is great to have you with us here on the live stream. We've got an amazing day of content coming at you. Great, insightful, actionable center stage sessions, demos, interviews, coming to you from the beautiful heart of the Cisco Showcase and World of Solutions here at Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas. I want to take a moment and go all the way back to opening keynote. Chuck Robbins started out by saying network traffic is going to triple in the next 3 years based on what we know today. Robotics, manufacturing, physical AI, all that added traffic, incredible pace. And he said something that I think is so important. He said, when the network works, nobody thinks about it. And that's so important. The simpler, easier it is, the less we even think about it. We don't have to worry about it. Well, that's why the network is the foundation. It is what is powering the agentic AI era, and the agentic workplace runs on Cisco. It's why Cisco